Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's clause, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kinda odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings. That's Black Jesus and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High.
Shalom Israel.
Shalom!
Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another class here at ISBHBK Houston. The school address is 8524 South Brazel Boulevard, Houston, Texas, zip code 77071. The class times here in Houston is Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m., Fridays from 6 to 9 p.m., and Saturday, Shabbat, morning classes from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Here in Houston, we also do the cable show. We do the cable show, and it's on Saturdays, and it starts at 8 p.m. You can find it on Comcast Local Channel 17 if you're in the local area, or you can stream it live at hmstv.org. And also, we got plenty of YouTube videos on our link on the ISBHBK YouTube channel, so we ask that you like, share, and subscribe. And we also got classes in San Antonio, Texas as well. The school address for San Antonio is 4219 Senegate Street, San Antonio, Texas, zip code 78217. And also they have a ISBHBK San Antonio YouTube channel as well. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe to the San Antonio YouTube channel. And we also got Mashaba out there with the brothers in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And the school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the address of the school is 7710 Menal Boulevard, Albuquerque, New Mexico, zip code 87110. And Mashaba also does the Blog Talk Radio out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. You can catch that live on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 9:30 a.m. And the link to that is blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba. Again, it's blogtalkradio.com/MASHAHBA. So you can check out the brothers out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico as well. And we got plenty of previous kids classes that we did here in Houston. You can check that out on ISBHBK Kids on YouTube. And to contact any of the priests here in Houston, we got Priest Quatzazop. His number is 303-557-8979. Again, his number is 303-557-8979. We ask that you text only. And we got Priest Kazakia. His number is 281-707-2737. Again, his number is 281-707-2737. We ask that you text only during class. And if you'd like to send in an email, the email is isbhbk@isbhbk.org. And Israelware is back up and running. It's on Facebook. So if you'd like to get any garments, anything like that made, it's Israelware on Facebook. So go ahead and search Israelware on Facebook, and you'll be able to place an order. And we got the Feast of First Fruits coming up June 7th. That's this Friday. There'll be no class that night. And it'll be held at our school starting at 9 p.m. Again, we got the Feast of First Fruits. And it's on June 7th. And it'll be hosted at our school starting at 9 p.m. There'll be no class that night. So if you'd like to congregate, definitely come through. And if, for any donations, we got the Wells Fargo account number on the screen. We got the Google Wallet on the screen as well. And if you'd like to mail in anything, books, pads, pens, papers, apocryphas, Bibles, anything like that, you can mail it to the school address, which is 8524 South Braesville Boulevard, Houston, Texas, zip code 77071. Or you can mail it to any of the schools, whether it's in San Antonio, whether it's in Albuquerque, whether it's a school that will have the address for you shortly, and that we're building in Virginia. So, with that, that's it for the announcements.
Anybody got any questions? Before we get into class, any questions y'all want to ask? In class or online? What's that?
So I was going over the scriptures with Kim, and we was talking about Ecclesiasticus, and I was explaining the fact that, considering that it's like even though it's proving a friend stage, but is a different stage with betrothal, I was trying to further edify the difference between the two, because the question came about, like, okay, if why is it okay for, like, you know, why is it not okay if we were still friends and she was but she was looking at someone else, like another man, right? And dating. So I was trying to explain to her, I was like, well, that goes over the class that we had like a couple months ago. Like, when we're dating, you don't do that. But she was like, but we're not in a betrothal period, we're proving a friend. So it was like, could you like further edify the difference between the two? But even though you're proving a friend, you're not supposed to, you know, have conflicts.
Well, so you're saying, so you have a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and in her mind, you guys are in the proving a friend stage.
Right. Yeah.
But what mind are you in?
The same.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the whole point of you trying to prove her is for what?
To be in a betrothal.
Right. So go to, let's look up the definition of betroth. Go to that scripture in Ecclesiasticus. Where we all at?
We was in Ecclesiasticus. Wait a minute. It was Ecclesiasticus 6,
Verse 7.
verse 7.
So what you got to understand about proving like you guys are a little bit past the proving stage.
Right.
How long have you been dealing with her?
It's about at least 3 months.
And let me say this: the proving stage never stops.
Right.
The prove a friend, that never, like, we get improved every day. Every day Christ proves us. So the proving a friend, when it comes to a relationship, that doesn't stop because you lay with this person. You're always going to be proving, and the Most High is always going to prove you. You got to look at it like this: the Most High proves you. So what do? Let our ribs get off easy?
Wow.
They get proven every day.
Right.
They gotta get every day. They gotta wake up and go through, or they should be going through, the same sort of regime that you're going through, because you're being proven every day. So they gotta be proven. Now, there's different levels of proving. I prove you to see, am I gonna continue to deal with you after a while? But 3 months in, you've already proved that, okay, I can go forward with this person, right?
Right.
So, first of all, go to Ecclesiasticus 6 and 7. Let's just read it.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first and be not hasty to credit him.
Right, and that's the thing. The whole point is not to be so quick to credit a person, because what is it in the world? Well, I met someone and that's my friend.
Yeah.
Really? You just met him like 5 minutes ago. How is that your friend?
Yeah.
What have they done for you? What have you done for them? Y'all just met. So it says, prove him and be not hasty to credit him. The world tells you as soon as you meet someone, that's your BBF, your best friends forever. Right? As soon as you meet a chick, that's your wife, that's wifey. But you just met her in the club. That can't be wifey. So I got to prove to see if you're worthy. But you go through these different stages. Now, the betrothal stage, did you get that definition of betrothal? The betrothal stage, we know in our custom, that was at least a year. You got it?
Yeah, kind of.
Right, that was at least a year, but even in that year, you were constantly proving that person to see, am I gonna go forward with this person?
Right.
You can betroth a person for as long as you want before you lay with them.
Right.
And then, and let's say it's year 2, and you're in year 2 of betrothal, and you come to the epiphany that this person's not the one. You prove them to a point of, well, I'm not going to keep going forward with you. Now, she was asking about why wouldn't it be okay for her to date someone in this time?
Right.
Well, because the Most High said he's not the author of confusion.
Right.
That would be confusion. How are you going to be able to get to know her if she's trying to get to know somebody else?
Right.
Plus, that's American. That's an American custom. Because what do they call it? Oh, we just talking.
Kind of.
We just dating or go on a bunch of dates or sow your royal oats. No, not in Hebrew custom.
Kind of.
You were supposed to. First of all, a woman was supposed to be bound to that man. Now, I know we're not dealing with betrothal and weddings the way we did them in our custom, where things were arranged. But now you got to give yourself. This is how you give yourself a chance to know: is this going to be the right endeavor? Because if you're trying to split yourself between one man and another man, how are you going to know? You're going to be confused. What you got for betrothal?
Betrothal says formal engagement to be married. An engagement.
So, what is your purpose in dealing with her?
To have a future.
Future marriage, right?
Yeah.
If you've proven her to the point where you say, okay, I want to deal with her.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the betrothal period, to be honest, it started 3 months ago. But it started in a way, not when you met her, oh, I'm betrothed to her.
Right.
But it started in a way where I met her. Okay, now we're gonna talk. I'm gonna see what she's about. Now you know, well, I'm gonna keep doing this because the entire purpose is my main goal ain't to be platonic friends, right? That wasn't the goal, to be friends, right? No. So she has to understand that. First of all, you're courting her. She can't be courted by another man.
Right.
That doesn't even make sense.
Right.
Now, the betrothal period, the betrothal period was something that was supposed to be taken serious. Because in our betrothal stages, and I don't know if you have the definition, you have that one where it talks about the year. But in our betrothal period, in our custom, that betrothal period, it lasted about a year, and that was for the man to assess this woman's spirit to see if you wanted to deal with that, if you wanted to deal with her spirit. So she has to understand, first of all, she's not courting you, you're courting her. That's first and foremost. Second of all, she can't be betrothed to 3 people at once.
Right.
It's confusion. That's not what betrothal is. You might as well just go on 5-minute speed dates and do that, or just continue to be in the world and date that way, but look at the repercussions of when you date that way or when you get with a person that way, right? Because the world says, meet somebody, let them hit it, let them get you pregnant, and then he'll leave, and then you'll raise kids. I mean, how many times do y'all got to go through that to understand that the way America taught you is not the way that we should be doing things? Come out of her, my people, and be not partakers of our sins. So all that, I'm just getting to know people, That's not, when you get with a Hebrew man or a man that's trying to follow the law, that stops. There is no, oh, I'm dating others, or I'm going over on this date, or I'm going to go do that, or I'm going to go do that. No, all that stops, and you got to let him deal with your spirit. Read what you got.
It says, betrothal, a promise that a marriage will take place in societies in which premarital sexual relations are condoned or in which consensual union is common. Betrothal may be unimportant. In other societies, however, betrothal is a formal part of the marriage process.
Well, in our society, go to Deuteronomy.
Okay.
In our heritage, in the Hebrew custom, there was a betrothal period. We didn't just lay with anybody. We didn't just see some chick out on the street and say, oh, that's my wife. Snatch her up, lay with her, and pop a bunch of babies in her. That's not how we did it. We actually were men of wisdom, knowledge, understanding. We dealt with women that had wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Right.
How do I know that we did that? Well, I'll get there. Go to Deuteronomy 28, 22, 28.
Okay. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28.
Right, now this is the thing. This is exactly why you can't be betrothed to two people. It's going to tell you right here.
Okay.
Read.
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin,
Right.
which is not betrothed.
So a virgin, a woman of marriageable age, or hadn't been married before, that virgin definition, that word virgin had two different definitions. Okay, when you look it up, woman of marriageable age, or a woman that did not have sexual intercourse. Okay? So if a man finds a virgin that is not if a man finds a virgin, a damsel that is not, read it again, I'm kind of destroying it.
If a man finds a damsel that is a virgin,
Right?
which is not betrothed.
Which is what?
Not betrothed.
Yeah. So America got it all twisted where you can be betrothed to me. Because you know what they do? They don't call it betrothed. Oh, we just texting. That's what they call it. Oh, we just texting. Oh, we just be FaceTiming.
Snapchat.
We just be Snapchatting. But no, what you're doing is betrothing a person. But now the confusion comes in when I'm trying to be betrothed to you, the nigga down the block, the nigga at my job, I got a work husband. Right? They come with that foolishness.
Right.
The confusion comes in when you let America and this society interject. Oh yeah, it's all good. Explore your options. Well, no. In our custom, according to the Bible, you only have one option. You only have one option, and it's to that one man. You can't be betrothed to him, the cat at your job, the dude from your school, the neighbor down the block. No, because it creates confusion, and then it disannuls the whole betrothal period. The betrothal period was for that man to figure out, could he deal with that woman spiritually? Does he want to take on the things that she comes with spiritually? Now, in this day and age, all that baggage that y'all be coming with, brothers betrothal period should be like 4 or 5 years. Brothers should be taking 10 years to betroth y'all, man, because y'all come with so much baggage. You know why? Because you hop from this guy, to this guy, to this beef, to this pole, to this beef, and now you got the influence of 4, 5, 20 guys, and then when one guy comes and tries to actually do things the right way, you got all this input from all these influences. So you brothers, y'all gotta wake the hell up and stop. Man, go. You gotta be careful who you give yourself to, and you gotta take the proper procedures. The method is here in the scriptures. It's here for you not to continue to have 5 baby mamas. It's here for you to not have to be on child support, not have to go through this court, not have to go through this drama. The Bible is here for that. Now, it's up to you if you want to follow it. Now, read where you at one more time.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 28.
Right?
If a man find a damsel that is a virgin,
right,
which is not betrothed.
Yeah, the key is she's not betrothed, meaning she's not promised to another man. So don't let America bamboozle you into thinking like, oh yeah, I can be promised to him, and I can be promised to him, or we just talking. No, because we know just talking in America means that we having sex. That's what just talking means. I mean, am I wrong or am I right? Con. Oh, we just be FaceTiming? Yeah, but that FaceTime turns into you stripping over the internet. That's what that turns into. And then it turns, let me get a pic. You know, come on, man. Y'all know how y'all did. And man, let me get a pic. And then she sent you a fake shot. You're like, no, not that type of pic. Well, what you want? Girl, you know what I want. And next thing you know, you got our whole body on the internet. Butt naked. No other man needs to see you like that if you're trying to deal with a man. If a man is trying to deal with you and deal with you the right way through wisdom, you're supposed to be out there trying to spread yourself to these other men. Because technically, if you want to be technical about it, in a sense, you're married to that man. Now you just didn't do the act to consummate the marriage, because again, that betrothal stage is a testing point to see, do I want to deal with her damn demons? Do I want to deal with all the baggage she got? Do I want to deal with her kids? Do I want to deal with all the baby daddy drama? Do I want to deal with her parents? It's all these things you brothers are supposed to be testing out before you just hop in the sack with a chick. Because then it's like, man, her parents, her mama, her grandmama and them keep telling her things. Her baby, all them baby daddies she got, they want to fight you. Bro, this is the time. What you got for betroth?
I was gonna say something too. I was gonna say it's the betrothal period is where you get married spiritually before you actually go and do the carnal act. So you get married to the spirit, seeing if you and her spirit, or her and your spirit can actually mesh, can actually be married and be unified.
Can you agree? Do you agree on doctrine?
Equally yoked.
Can you be equally yoked? This is the time where she's supposed to be getting taught. You women, if you women online, I mean, all the sisters in here are basically married. But you women online, if you're dealing with a man and he claims to be an Israelite in the truth, in the scriptures, well, that betrothal period is a time when you're supposed to be getting taught how to even be with a man. A lot of them don't even know how to have a husband. And a lot of brothers don't know how to have wives. So the time is for y'all to learn one another spiritually, not explore her body and going on dates and all that crap. No, you get to know her first. And then you do, as time goes on, you prove her in that aspect. And she gonna follow. The scriptures say, it does say prove a friend. So let me prove to see, wait a minute, can you be taught? Can I break down all the strongholds in your mind? Oh, I can? Okay, boom. So let's move to the next stage of proving. Okay, well, hey, show up to class 6 months straight. Oh, you did that? Okay, let's move on. But the whole time it's a betrothal period. Because the whole goal wasn't for y'all to be friends. The whole goal is because you were trying to mold this woman. Who can find a virtuous woman? Right? You were trying to mold her into this virtuous woman, so that she could be a good helpmeet for you. Unfortunately, it's not like how the Most High did Adam and Eve, where he brought a good help to Adam. Brothers got to build their help. You got to build your wife, first and foremost, bottom line. Because she's going to come with things that you're not going to want to deal with, or that you're going to have to root out because of the influence of the world, because of her background, because of her past. And that's just straight fact. It's no different than brothers. Brothers come in, what happens? You got to root up, break down, dig up to do what? Just to build. So it's the same tactic. It's the same method. Brothers get proved every single day. You better prove your woman. Give me that one that I wanted. Well, finish that. Yeah, where you at?
This is betrothed. It says, to promise by one's truth, men and women were betrothed when they were engaged to be married.
Right.
This usually took place a year or more before marriage.
You see that? So this took place a year or more before marriage. Now, how can I be betrothed to one man if I got another man trying to influence me into something else? It don't make sense. The Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace. Go ahead.
From the time of betrothal, the woman was regarded as the lawful wife of the man
You see that?
to whom she was betrothed.
Technically, you were basically that man's wife when you were in the betrothal period. Listen, man, it ain't no different from when you was in the world, right? And you see the little chick that you wanted to talk to, and you basically put your stamp on that. We talking now, right? And you made her cut off all her little dudes, all her little side niggas, right? You made her cut all that off. And what did you do? You dealt with her. And y'all went through life, you had your little relationship, however long it was, and if it lasted, it lasted, if it didn't, it didn't. But it's the same principles. No man is going to deal with no woman that's trying to talk to some other man. That's a no-no. And that right there, I mean, if that's on her mind, that right there should be red flag number one. Why, if I'm trying to deal with you and I'm not even trying to deal with you in the way of the world, I'm trying to actually deal with your spirit, why would you want something else? Why would you want to go deal with some other nigga that's going to just dog you out? Ain't you tired of that? Women got to wake up, man. Y'all got to see what the Most High is trying to bring y'all and how the Most High is trying to deal with y'all through the righteous men or the men that are trying to live righteous. The Most High dropped a gold mine right in front of you. A gold mine, a pit of wisdom right in front of you for you to live a better life, not the same life you lived for the last 30, 40 years. So you got to really see what the Most High is doing for you. Now, if you want to run over to the next dude that ain't got nothing to offer by the way of wisdom, then you messing up. You messing up. Finish where you at.
Oh, that was it. You wanted Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26.
And this is part of the reason that you go through the betrothal stage.
Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 verse 26.
Read it.
Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Well, how would you know? Well, we were betrothed for a year and a half, maybe even 2.
Yeah.
And I was able to see how does she think in every situation. How does she handle stress? How does she handle pressure? How does she handle being able to, like we're going to go through in this class, how does she handle being brought low? How does she handle being brought high? Does she stress out when she ain't got it? If I don't got it, is she going to stress out? Or is she going to be that pillar of rest? See, all these things come into play during this betrothal stage. Now, I want all y'all to do it. Just reminisce back on all your old relationships before the truth. And think about how whack the relationship was because of the lack of wisdom that you didn't have. Because you weren't able to see all the red flags that this person was throwing up. Because you didn't understand, can two walk together, at least they be in agreement. You look past all that and was like, well, he got he got nice guns. I like his car, girl. Well, man, you know she got a fat ass, man. I know she's retarded as hell, but she got a dump truck on her. I know she can't cook I know she can't cook clean, but she got a dumper. Not, but you laughing, God, but yeah, that was the thought, right? Yeah, look past all the spirit and let's get into the carnal. But then now look at the relationship. Where is it at? See, that's why this betrothal period was so important, because now the question is posed. Read it again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, 26. Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Question mark. You see that? There's a question mark there. You got a wife after your mind? Go ahead.
Forsake her not.
Yeah, you ain't supposed to forsake that. You're supposed to keep building, keep growing. But if she's not after your mind, then what do you do? Well, it's up to that man during the betrothal period to say, well, look, you know what? Let me step back. Let me assess what's going on here with her spirit. Well, I've been dealing with her for the last 2 years, 3 years, and she got the same problems. She ain't growing. She's not getting it. I've changed my approach. I've tried different methods. I've tried different ways to come, and she just ain't growing. I don't got to deal with that. Guess what? The man is not obligated to deal with that. But the beautiful thing is you didn't sleep with her. You didn't get her pregnant. You didn't gas her up and, baby, I'm going to give you the world. You didn't do all that crap you did in the world, back in the day. You didn't do that. She knew what it was. So now if you cut ties with this person, that emotional attachment, and it's really just a carnal sexual attachment, that ain't there. She can still, a person can still get the wisdom, still get class, still do those things. If that's what it was really about. Christ don't leave you because a man don't want to deal with you. You see what I'm saying? Like Christ ain't gonna not take you in because you ain't got no husband, like, or because a man stopped dealing with you. Nah, if you was here for Christ, then keep being here for Christ. But see, the point is, if a man is trying to get with you and he's dealing with you in this manner spiritually through the scriptures, he's trying to test out and prove your mind. What manner of wife is she going to be? Is she just going to be a damn incubator for a bunch of babies? Or is she going to be an actual mother?
Got it. Now, I was going to say too, man, when you look at the statistics of marriages in America, only 50% of them last. So like during this betrothal, only 50% last because they don't do a betrothal period. But when you do a betrothal period here, the truth, when you're doing this for the Most High, it's like you're not getting with somebody because you just want to be with them for 5 or 10 years. The whole thing is you're going through this because you're trying to be with this person for the rest of your life, for the rest of their life. It's not like a 25-year agreement. You look in the world and you see, man, 20 years and they're divorcing. How you divorcing after 20 years?
Because they didn't do anything right. They had kids and they were like, well, we got to stay together for the kids.
Right.
So by the time, as soon as the kids graduate, what happens? Mom's getting divorced from dad. Dad got his new little 19-year-old girlfriend already waiting in the wings, ready to live his midlife crisis.
That's like they divorce and not even a year later they already remarried, or she already remarried, or he already remarried. It's like,
because they were done in a relationship 10 years ago.
yeah,
They were finished 10 years ago because he was already stepping out, cheating, doing his thing. He was already detached. She was tired of getting her heart broke, but they just did it for the kids. So we're trying to show y'all how to make longevity and not just 20 years. Because even like, I look at my people. Man, I got 2 sets of uncles. They've been together with their wives like, I'm 38. They've been together before I was born.
yeah.
They've been together almost 40 years with their wives. And they ain't even old, man. They're not that old. They're in their 60s. They've been together since teens.
Wow.
And I'm like, but what at any moment you can hear like, oh, Uncle such and such is getting a divorce. Or this person is getting a divorce. Why? Because what wisdom they got. They might be going through something and it's like, well, I don't feel like dealing with that this time. But the wisdom we got, because you're not going to find everything out in a year either. In a betrothal, you're not going to hit every single instance in a betrothal period. But it at least gives you a gauge to understand about this person you're about to deal with. It gives you a gauge to see how do they handle certain pressures and how do they handle situations. You know, that's what the betrothal period was for. Go ahead, finish it up. Read it from the top.
Come. Hast thou a wife after thy mind?
Go ahead.
Forsake her not.
Read.
But give not thyself over to a light woman.
Yeah, you don't want to give yourself to these light women, light in the mind, lightheaded, man. What they call them ditzy ass chicks, airheads, right? You a blonde airhead, valley girl. The whole point was for you not to give yourself over to that, something that you couldn't, a woman that you couldn't build or build with. You know, there was a meme going around a while back. It was like, her breasts and her butt can't raise your children. But guess what? Your 6-pack and arms can't raise no children either. It goes vice versa. It goes both ways. Go to Ecclesiastes 20. Go to Raj. Read Ecclesiastes 26 and verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 1. Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife.
Why? What's going to happen when he has this virtuous wife? Go ahead.
For the number of his days shall be doubled.
Yeah, but the virtue is being found out in the betrothal stage. That's where I see, how many virtues do you come with? Damn, she cooks, she cleans, she speaks well, you know, she dresses modest, you know, she got a little humility problem. I can work with that. I can get that. I can deal with that. You know, the wisdom will get that out of her. You know, she got a little bit of pride on her. I can deal with that. She got these many virtues, and then she got like this, you know, 2 or 3 defaults. I can fix that. That ain't nothing. But the only way you get to figure that out is, you don't want to figure that out after you lay with her. When you look at her defaults, like, wait a minute, This nigga's pride is so great. She's prideful. She's controlling. She's possessive. We can't have, listen, as Israelite men, you think we got room to have any possessive women? First of all, man, we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for you to think that we're your possession. First of all, the scriptures say that you're our possession. We possess you in a righteous way. So we don't have no time to be nobody's possession but Christ. We don't have no time to answer to nobody but Christ. We ain't got time to answer to y'all where you been. What you mean where I've been?
Why you didn't answer the phone?
Why you didn't answer the phone? How come this? How come we don't have time for that? Because we busy doing this work. But guess what? You'll find out who she is in the betrothal. Just give it enough time. Just give it that year, man. You'll see. When all them councils start stacking up, and then brothers, we got a meeting over here tonight. Sunday meeting. Oh, we got class, we got drilling, we got this, we got that. Like, how come you always with them? Ooh, that right there will tell you right where her mind is at. That right there will tell you right where her brain is at. Or when you sitting there and all you do is you go home, you crack that book open and you just be in there studying, and then y'all get into a little small disagreement and she says, well, all you do is study. You know exactly where her brain is at. Just give it some time. All you gotta do is give it time. Time is your friend when it comes to these relationships. Time is your friend when it comes to dealing with these women. Women, time is your friend when it comes to dealing with these men. Just because he got fringes and a beard don't mean he's righteous. Don't mean you got to hop in the sack with him because he quoted 4 or 5 scriptures and then put them together in the wrong order and gave you the wrong precepts. You got to be careful. Proving a friend goes both ways. But the proving is a constant. There's levels to the proving. I've been with my rib a while, and her proving is on a different level than when we first met. If I'm proving her on stuff than we first met, then that means somebody ain't growing. Right? Go to the one that I wanted was go to Ecclesiastes 26 and verse 14.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 verse 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High.
Right now, that's not always that silent, loving. It's not talking about she's dumb, deaf, mute, blind, but she knows when to speak. Now, a lot of times that's not always in a woman. That got to be built in her. That's one of those virtues that a lot of these loudmouth chicks don't come with because they've been taught, I'm independent, it's a woman's world, stand up for yourself, girl, don't let him talk to you like that, girl, right? You ain't gonna talk to me like that. Just run their mouth like diarrhea. So a silent and loving woman, you might not meet a woman that's silent in that way, and she got to be taught. She might have to be taught how to be loving. See, these are the things that a man has to be able to look at and say, this is what I'm going to deal with. This is my choice. I choose to deal with these inconsistencies or these demons you got on you. Right? So a silent and loving, but if she comes equipped, silent and loving, it tells you that's a gift from the Most High. Baby, it's a gift. I just like to give, right? Go ahead.
And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Right, now, how do you understand and how do you find out when you can instruct her mind? When you're telling her to flip over in the bed? No, because that don't matter. It's really before all that. It's when you're proving her, hey, I need you to go do this. I need you to do this. I need you to show up here. I need you to handle this for me. I'm busy. I'm over at the mall. I'm working. I need you to handle this.
Yeah,
right? Can she take instruction? That's part of proving her. So, but it never stops because when you lay with her and that's your wife, you ain't like, well, don't do nothing. Now you're like, listen, I need you to do more. I need more, right? More. It don't stop because the further we go in this walk, the more is required of us. And if you're a man that got position, the much is given, much is required. And if you got a wife, guess what? That requirement falls on her too. She can't slack. There's no more slacking off, sleeping in. Nah. So the proving and finding out is her mind able to be instructed starts in the betrothal period. Your mind can't be instructed if you got 2-3 niggas trying to instruct you. One's talking about, I want scrambled eggs. The other's talking about, I want sunny side. And then this other man is talking about, well, I like over easy. And you mess up and cook them scrambled. The Most High is not the author of confusion.
Got it.
That's why you ain't supposed to be out here trying to be betrothed to 2 men. This ain't Kemet, where the woman can have like 1,000 husbands or whatever belief that was. Where I can have a bunch of husbands because the woman is God. No. Read on.
Verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace.
You see that? A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, man. But you skip. Oh no, go ahead. Read on.
In her continent mind.
In her what?
Continent mind.
See, how do you? Somebody look up that word continent. We y'all should know this verbatim, sisters. Y'all should be able to give me that definition verbatim. But her continent mind.
It says continent, restrained.
Her what?
Restrained.
Yeah, there's not. Your mind ain't really restrained if you're trying to go holler at some other dudes, or wondering why it's not okay for you to go deal with more than one man at a time. There's no continency there. Go ahead.
Restrained from unlawful sexual commerce.
Unlawful sexual commerce. All America is about is unlawful sexual commerce. Because of the way they want you to do things. It's like even the things that are lawful, America makes it unlawful. You want to go get you a woman? Every man deserves to have a nice woman, right? The Most High made the woman for the man. But even the way America tells you to go do it is wrong. Yeah, just go to the club, ask her for a Snapchat, and then hit it 5 minutes later.
Got it.
Send her some illicit pics, right?
Got it.
America tells you to do things the wrong way and it becomes immoral. It becomes contrary to the law. The Bible tells you to betroth a woman for a year.
At least.
At least. And the Bible, let me take that back. The Bible itself doesn't say it, but the scriptures say to be betrothed, and then we understand what the betrothal period, what it consists of.
Got it.
All right, so read verse 15 one more time.
A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace.
Right, there gotta be some shame about her. But you only see that, like you know, one of my pet peeves, man, back in the day. One of my pet peeves was I hated public embarrassment. Like, you know, when you go out with a person, they just don't know how to act. Man, woman, it don't matter. And they always gotta be the idiot. Like, you go out to eat and they don't carry themselves and it's embarrassing. I hated being around that. And, you know, I used to go on my little dates back in the day, you know, 16, 17, take little chicks out to Applebee's and, you know, Chili's and I was balling. Nah, I used to go like Cheesecake Factory and stuff when I was 16.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, who's going to McDonald's?
God, he wasn't dating, man. Nah, but my point is this: I would sit there. I was betrothing chicks and not even knowing it. I was testing out, like, can I even be around you long enough? Do you know how to carry yourself in public? I would do things like that. I still do that. I look at people. I'm like, damn, you don't know how to carry yourself in public. I can't be with you. Can't be around you. You got to know how to carry yourself in public. How to have some shame. How to have some humility about you. That's very important to me. I don't care who I'm with. Brothers, sisters. If you don't know how to carry yourself decently, if you always got to be argumentative and fighting and contentious, I don't want to be around that.
It's like they get your order wrong at the restaurant. Like, you got to make a huge scene instead of just,
hey, can you just? I didn't want no bacon.
put bacon on it. Yeah.
And the whole time they're apologizing, like, "Oh, my bad," and you're like, "Nigga, you dumb."
And they're the server. They're not even the ones that made it.
Yeah, but you get to test these things out
Yeah.
in this betrothal. It's little things like that where you go out in public with a chick and she start talking, and you like, "Damn, what did I marry? What did I marry? Well, we should have dated more before I laid with you." But you find these things out at the wrong time, and that's just a little small thing. That can be fixed. But now, what about her spirit? If she got the spirit of whoredom on her, if she got the spirit that she can't be satisfied by one man.
Like you go to a party with her and she danced with another man and it's like
she disappeared. She's in some dude's bedroom.
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, but that betrothal period, that's the time where brothers and sisters got to take the time. That is the proving a friend. That whole time, and then when you get married, still proving. All right. Anything else on that?
Wow.
Anything else?
God, do we have any extra apocryphas?
No.
There was a question on mine.
What is it?
It says, if I tap dance for Uncle Charlie for a living, but believe in the truth, what is my path for salvation?
Y'all want me to predict? Y'all trying to get me to predict futures up in here? What is your path? So basically, you say that. Are you saying if you work for the white man or you work for the man? Listen, a lot of our people work for the man. Now, for me to tell you what your path is, I don't know what your path is. The only way you can really tell a man what his path is, what path are you on? Now, it's one thing. A lot of our people, they work for the world. They work for Esau. They work for the nations, and they start learning the truth. And if they have the means, what do? They get up out of that. They start their own business. They sacrifice. They do what they got to do to come from under that oppression. Everyone doesn't have that luxury, and it's not even a luxury because it's hard to do it. But everybody doesn't have that at their disposal to just quit their job and just do the truth, right? So read the question one more time. I'm trying to. Yeah, I mean, let me see. He said, I tap dance for Uncle Charlie. He's talking about America. Yeah. Is it Uncle Charlie or Uncle Sam? I thought it was Uncle Sam. So hopefully it's America for a living, but believe in the truth. Now, you believe in the truth, then you got to do the things that the truth tell us to do. The truth tells us to gather together. Why? Why is it important to gather together? Well, because now we get to put our minds together to come up with different things for us not to have to serve the white man. Just like how we do here. We got our own businesses here. We've had our own businesses for years where we give brothers the opportunity to not have to go work for the white man for their life and bend over backwards for these nations. We have things set up where we can do for each other. But first and foremost, you got to gather together. Where 2 and 3 are gathered in my name, there I will be. So, I can take you through this whole spill of your path, but you just got to understand that if there's something that you want pertaining to righteousness and the truth, you got to ask the Most High for that, but you still got to be doing things to get it. The scriptures say to rehearse the righteous acts. The scriptures tell us to come together, to unite, right? The purpose of uniting is so that we don't have to be under the thumb of the oppressor. The whole purpose is you might be a plumber, you might be an electrician, you might be a carpenter. Hey, we came together, we can start our own business, right? Let's just work out all the BS. Now we can come together and make a company, a general contracting company. We got a plumber, we got a carpenter, we got a AC guy. Boom. Or whatever it may be. The one thing about Israel is that we got many talents. We got many different talents from being under this oppression. A lot of us got degrees and different doctorates and trades, but none of it matters if we're not using it for the right purpose. None of it matters if you're not doing it for the right purpose. Now, and I said it earlier, it's not wrong if you have a job. It's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. The Most High understands. He's not looking down from the heavens like you wicked as hell because you're working. You got to provide for your family. We get that, but again, after a while, things will progress to where opportunities will rise where you don't have to work for the oppressor. We can work for each other. Again, we offer that opportunity to brothers that go to they show a little faith. They show faithfulness in the things that they're being taught. Right? So we offer that opportunity. Now, and many men have been offered that opportunity just in dealing with this school. Not every man takes it. Some rather work for the white man, or the Chinese man, or the East Indians or the Arabs. Some rather it. They rather do it. Or I'm gonna just do my own thing. We don't knock anybody for that, but we know that we have things set up. The opportunity is here with this school to be able to be with one another, iron sharpeneth iron, and gathering together in that unity, doing things for ourselves. So, I mean, as far as your path, your path depends on where you're giving yourself to. You can go work for the white man and not be into it. That's the thing. You're just like, hey, this is a means to an end until something that comes along is better. I've been there. I've been there. I know how that feels when you're working and your mind is not there, and you know that you serve the Most High. You know it's the Sabbath, and you got to show up to this whack job, but your mind is on the Spirit. That's how we gotta operate. For those that are stuck in a job working for this society. Yeah. The Most High will open up doors, man. You'd be surprised. But I'm gonna say this. The Most High always gives you, it's like if you say, you know what, I wanna stop working for Esau and I wanna be around brothers. The Most High will give you an avenue. He just wants you to be found faithful in the little bit he gives you first. So I always say this, I don't care if you damn all the way in Africa and you watching us. And if you put it in the airwaves that you want to be here sitting in this classroom, the Most High will make it happen. But he wants to see, well, are you going to be faithful in watching class for 6 months? Because then I'll open up doors for you to be able to be here. You might watch class for 6 months faithful. And then it's Passover time. And it's like, well, Passover is in Houston. You have the option to go to vacation in Florida or go to Passover in Houston. Decisions. What you going to do? Well, I'm going to go to Passover in Houston and see what happens. Yeah. Well, you go to Passover in Houston, you have a beautiful Passover. Then the Spirit tells you, hey, you might as well just get ahead and move. Because you're about to get laid off from your job in 2 months. This is happening. So you might as well just make that move. See, that's how it works, but it's about being faithful in just the small things. To whom is, you were going to quote it? To whom is much given is much required?
No, he that is faithful at least.
Oh yeah, find that. Yeah, you can find that. Yeah. I can only give y'all my story. I can only give y'all the things that happened to me. But yeah, it's not bad. I want to say it again. It's not wicked to have a job. You gotta work, you gotta provide for your family. Do that until some other doors open.
It's Luke 16:10.
Read that. They don't make them like that, no.
Luke chapter 16 and verse 10.
Luke chapter 16, verse 10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much.
Read it one more time.
Luke chapter 16, verse 10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And
right. So, it's about being faithful in the little things. Go to Proverbs. Proverbs 20 and 24. If you ask, what is your path or what is your path or salvation? Well, a righteous man's path is going to be guided by the Most High. So, if you're working for the white man and in your spirit you're like, I don't want to do this, guess what? The Most High is going to guide your path to something better. He's going to guide you right out of that. Read it, Proverbs 20:24.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. A man's goings are of the Most High. How can a man then understand his own way?
Right. See, a man's goings are of the Most High. A righteous man, the way you go is going to be of the Most High. So, if it's in your spirit, not to tap dance for Uncle Charlie, then guess what? The Most High will he will put things in motion for that to not happen. But you got to be found faithful in the small things that he's putting in front of you. Be faithful in those things, because you can't do the big things before you do the small things. Like, you can't uproot your whole family and move to a whole other state if you don't even know who you're looking at. If you don't even know who you're moving to, you never prove the brothers that you're watching. You see that? So, yes, sir.
Questions, but is it like tap dancing, like you know, like that's like being a sellout, isn't it? Like,
I think they were just using that as we all like. The mind nowadays is if you work for the white man, you tap dancing.
Okay.
So I think everybody's looking at it like that, like, this is how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that he's literally shucking and jiving.
Okay.
Yes, master, no master, but you know, everybody's waking up, getting into that stage where it's like, if you're working for these people, man, it's some. I feel like I'm selling out in some type of way. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he was just using that terminology to be funny. Jeremiah, you had your hand up.
I want to say, like right now, like it's not too many like black people that have, you know, own businesses and type of establishments and stuff, you know.
Right.
And everybody know, you know, the man, he got everything set up. So it's mainly like.
Well, you're right, but there's a reason why. Black people are scared as hell. Black people are scary. I'm sorry. We scary as hell. We scared to get up under that. We scared to lose that dental plan. We scared to lose that 401k. We scared to lose that so-called guaranteed every 2-week paycheck. We scared to invest in ourselves and sacrifice to come out on top. We scared. I talked to this lawyer, man. I was in the mall. This dude, he's a lawyer. He worked for some big firm. You know, he got money. He run around Louis everything. Black guy, Judite guy, man, older. And we were talking, and I asked him, I said, man, why don't you just do your own law firm? He's like, I'm scared. He said, I got bills. He said, my wife. He said, I can't not come home with the same amount of money I've been making. Basically, his wife would leave him. I'm like, what? Damn. He basically straight up told me, as he bought oils from me, he said, I'm scared. I'm scared to branch out on my own because I'm scared to fail. Now, that's just one man trying to venture into something. Woe to him that's left alone. Right? Now, where 2 and 3 are gathered in my name, there I will be. So that's why the Bible tells us to come together. That way, you ain't got to be scared if you fall. Someone will be there to pick you up. Right. His problem is he ain't had nobody. If I fall, I'm not scared. I got brothers and sisters here to help, and vice versa. Sure. So that's the difference. That's why we do have to come together. If you want to get from under the thumb of this regime, that's the first and foremost thing. You learn who you are, and then you gather with like-minded people. That's the first and foremost thing. There's no other way around it. Because then once you start gathering, there's no way they can break unity. When you start having unity and things in play, now we can homeschool our own kids. They ain't got to go to their schools. We can start our own little businesses. We can trade and barter and do different things however you want to do it. You might, again, have a talent that I might need. But guess what? I got something that you need. Well, I'll do this work if you do this work. Now we're getting things done. Border system. Or, again, you might have a talent of plumbing AC, carpentry. Let's come together. Let's come, and they're trying to do it. Like, you see the little story about the little Bloods and Crips in Compton. They brought all these old school OGs, triple OGs that ain't gangbanging no more, but they all got trades. They're carpenters, they're plumbers, licensed guys that can go build you a house. And so some other OG, triple OG, got them all together and was like, let's go rebuild Compton. He came up with $500,000 and the city was like, no. So the talent is there. Again, what is it being used for? See, we want to use the talent to build America. Like, man, for what? Obviously, they don't know no better, so they're going to try to build up their communities. That's Compton. That's my spot. That's my block. We get that. But imagine if we put that talent, put that brainstorming into serving the Most High. He'll make anything happen for us.
Like you said, they denied him.
Yeah.
He got all that. I'm trying to think outside the box, but like, I think it's best if we just had our own land.
Well, that's another business you can have. Own land? Well, when you say own land, what do you mean?
Like, everybody have their own country, or I'm just saying, like.
For us to have our own land.
Yeah, compared.
Well, yeah, but we do have our own land, but it's been taken. Yeah. That's the problem, right? That's why we're in this condition.
Yeah.
We've been removed out of our land because of our ill doing. So we're way past having our own land. We know that's what we need, but right now that's not going to happen because why? We can't even unify. We can't even unify right here in America. So our own land, everybody's going to be out there like, well, I'm in charge. Nah, nigga, I'm in charge. No, but you too short. But nah, but you too black. But no, but you too light skinned. Nobody's gonna be able to agree on anything. It starts now. Before you get it, remember, you gotta read it one more time in Luke. It says being faithful in the small things. The small thing is to unify.
Luke chapter 16, verse 10.
Read.
He that is faithful in that which is least.
Yeah, see, the least thing for us to do is come together. You know that you're an Israelite, you know that Christ is black. Yippee. Now, gather together. Forsake ye not the assembling of ourselves together. That's the small thing. Go ahead.
Which is least is faithful also in much.
Right. And then once you find yourself faithful in the small thing, then we'll be able to get our own land and run that. Lamont, I know you actually have no drink. Lamont, what's up?
I was just looking for that scripture where it says, if we have that faith as a grain of a mustard seed that we can move mountains.
Yeah.
It's just showing us like we had that little bit of faith to go start our own business, get the money. Like even we do it inside the zone every day. What's the quota? 500. We don't know how we gonna get there, but we gotta make something. Yeah, we gotta make something happen to get it.
And it's not one man doing it. It's brothers working together collectively, putting their minds together to get the daily goal. Jermaine.
In the morning, sometimes when I do my workout, I'm usually listening to some inspirational video, and I came across this quote, but I want to know if there's a scripture that you could back it up with. But what made me think of this is when the brother mentioned about us coming together and doing business, and then you mentioned the story about the lawyer. But it goes like this: so success in life is a result of the decisions you make, but failure in life is also a result of the decisions you make.
Yeah, a man's trial is in his reasoning. A man's trial is in his reasoning. It says success is what? A result of the decisions you make? Yeah, so a man's trial, find it. From your locker up. But a man's trial is in his reasoning. So the things that you go through, the successes or the failures, is because of the reasons that you choose, the things that you choose. I mean, there's many. But that's the first one that strikes me.
So Ecclesiastes 27:5.
Ecclesiastes 27 verse 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
Right.
So the trial of man is in his reasoning.
Right. Your trial, whether it be a good trial or a bad trial, is in your reasoning. Well, why did you do that? Well, my reasoning for sleeping with some chick as soon as I met with her was such and such. Well, now she's pregnant. Now she's pregnant and you don't want to have a kid. Well, your trial was in your reasoning. But I met a chick, I betrothed her for a year. Now we've been married for 10 years and we 10 years strong. Well, that good trial is because of that man's reasoning. He did things in the right steps. Y'all get that? Anything else? Samukai.
Well, I was thinking of two things. There's a scripture that says the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yep.
if your steps are ordered by the Lord, then you can't go wrong. Even if you make mistakes, He can make right of it.
Right.
And the other thing is that kept me going when I was working.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started working, it was like, I need steady cash, steady benefits. You know, I need this, I need that, I need to raise my son. But when I came and read the word, and I read about Joseph, now Joseph didn't want to be in Egypt. He didn't want to be a slave. But what he did was make use of it.
You said what he did? Oh, he made use of it, right.
He made use of it, you know, and through it, his family was saved in the time of famine. And I think the scripture says, though Satan meant it for evil, the Most High meant it for good. So his mind state was, okay, I'm here, let me make this an advantage to my people. So if you have the right mind state, even if you are working a 9 to 5, if you're doing it in order to support or help your people to learn more about the Most High and advance even in their businesses, then you have a good way to go. Your path is good.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the scripture you quoted was Psalms 37 and verse 23. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he that delighteth in his way. Verse 24, though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. Y'all get that? So yeah, your path, you know, you can think in your own mind. There's another scripture that say a man deviseth his way. I'll get it, because I'm butchering today. It's Proverbs 16:9. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord direct his steps. So, again, you know, you can have in your mind to do towards the Most High. He's going to guide those steps. He's going to guide. If you have those righteous thoughts, He's going to guide those steps into righteousness. If you desire not to be shucking and jiving and tiptoeing for the man, and you rather sacrifice for Israel, guess what? Most High will open them doors. Ask and you shall receive. So, you know, again, it's just really, He's already given you what you need to be successful. Be faithful in the little bit that He gives. I know I be sounding like a broken record sometimes, but I give that advice. I don't care if you was down the block. Be faithful in the little bit that the Most High is giving you, man. Be faithful in that so you can walk the right way. Prepare your soul when you come to serve the Lord. Prepare your soul for temptation. Check your foot when you step in the house of the Most High, because now you're walking the right way and doing things decently and in order. And that's what it really is. That's what it really is about. Allison.
I was also thinking of the scripture in Proverbs 12:24.
What you got?
The hand of the diligent shall bear rule, but the slothful shall fall.
Be under tribute, and that's another one. The hand of the diligent. So if you're diligent in what you want, and it's according to righteousness, you'll bear rule. The Most High will give it to you. He's telling you here, but you got to be diligent, consistent, rooted, grounded, faithful. But it says the slothful will be under tribute. A slothful man, he'll think it. He'll think, oh, I don't want to do this, I want to do that. But you'll be constantly under tribute to someone else, a tributary, because you didn't put yourself in position to be on top, to push out of or break through the shackles of, you know, a job. Again, I'm gonna say it one more time. It's not wicked to have a job. Did you have your hand up? No? Thought somebody had their hand up. Is that it? Anything else online? Yours? Yeah. All right, yeah, let's get into class, man. It's 8:15, 8:19. It should be enough time, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let this brother hop into his class.
It's a good one.
It's a good one too, so.
All
Yes,
right,
sir. Take her away, Johnny.
All right, somebody give me 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. So what we're gonna go into is what is gain unto the godly. Like, what is a godly person considered to be gain? Is it money? Is it cars? Is it clothes? Or is it wisdom, knowledge? We're gonna go into all that. Go ahead, read it. 1 Timothy 6 and 6.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Read it again.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
So the first thing we gotta understand is, what is godliness? That's the first important word in the scripture. Godliness, right? So the definition of godliness that I got is piety, the belief in God and reverence for his character and laws, right? So if you consider yourself to be a godly person, you're reverencing the Most High and his laws and his character. Now when you look at the definition of character, some of the synonyms that you get for character is the personality, the nature, the mentality, the psyche, the makeup, the mold, the cast, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So read that from the top, verse 6.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
So,
and can I say one thing? You know why this is important? Why we got to go through it? Because what does Joel Osteen teach?
Moral inspiration.
Well, he's basically prosperity, right?
Basically,
they're basically teaching you that
yeah,
if you ain't got a Bentley, God don't like you. If you ain't got a beach house, God don't love you. You got that one pastor from Louisiana. His name, they call him like Jesus reincarnated. His name is Joshua. His name is Joshua something, man. He's from New Orleans though. Y'all could. I'm sure if you Google him, but he straight up says it. If you broke, God don't love you. He straight up says it. If you ain't got certain things, God ain't messing with you. Now, and then he came back and said that Christ wasn't broke. We know that Christ. It said Christ was rich, but he made himself poor for our sakes.
all right.
Right? But he came back and said, Christ wasn't broke. God ain't dealing with no broke person. If you broke, God don't love you. Those are his exact verbatim. I'll never forget those words. He had his little red Versace tight little blazer on.
Wow.
Yeah, but see, this is what they push to our people.
Okay.
So they push that to our people, and then now you got to do the thing where you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Well, I got to keep up. Well, if Pastor got it, Pastor is getting blessed. The Lord loves Pastor, right? So I got to keep up with Pastor. So Pastor went and got a Bentley, I got to go get me a Chrysler 300. If Pastor went and got the Benz, I got to go get a Benz. If Pastor, and then what happens? You gonna broke his hell trying to do it.
You know, it's crazy that you're saying that. I talked to a pastor last time I was in the mall. But he was like, he was a pastor, but he was living out his car. And he was talking about how, he mentioned the other like 5 pastors at his church. And he was like, they can't know I live in my car. These guys are pulling up in Benz and Bentleys and all that. I'm just trying to save up so I can buy a house, because he just divorced his wife. She took the house and she took everything, right? So he's like living out his car so he don't got to pay for the expenses. He could save up and then go buy him a new house. But he was telling me, like, I can't tell the congregation that I'm staying in my car. And I was like, man, that's crazy.
I'd be like, who could put me up for a week or two? He's tripping. That's what the body is there for, to help out. Like,
bro, he said he built 5 churches. He said he built 5 churches, and I was like, man. But you know, I thought about it. I was like, man, you built 5 churches, but you've been divorced 3 times, and now you're staying in your car. Like, the Most High really must not be messing with you.
Because he ain't doing the betrothal stage. Right? But you got to see how these pastors, they play us, man. They got us keeping up with them. But the whole time they're telling you the only way to keep up with me is to give me your money, and God will bless you. You sow that $5,000 seed, brothers and sisters. They be on late night, right? Infomercial time, and they pop up like, God told me to talk to you through the TV, right? And tell you that if you sow this $5,000 seed, He's gonna increase you exponentially, right? And then you sending that damn 5,000.
Like you see, this is the prayer cloth right here.
Yeah, they give you the prayer cloth. Right. They drip they drip Western oil on it. Talking about this holy oil, and you pay, and then we pay for it. Then you can't pay your rent. Then you go broke. You got to see they teach these things to our people. That if you ain't got it, God ain't dealing with you. That your blessings have to be some carnal blessing in order to show that God loves you. That's why this is so important. That's why Paul said it. Read it one more time.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Godliness with contentment is great gain. Did you skip a scripture?
I did skip this, but I was just.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to hit that point.
Right. Nah, go ahead. I just wanted to say that.
But yeah, so godliness is belief in God or reverence for His character and laws. We went into the definition of character. And you know, character is your personality, your temper, your mentality, your psyche, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So the godly person is reverencing and is paying attention to the qualities that the Most High has. Go ahead and read Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26.
Go ahead.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
See, we're trying to be holy, right? So we're trying to be like the Most High. Read.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
That's an order, actually. The Most High said, listen, be holy, because why? Because I am holy. If you're going to represent me, if you're going to be an ambassador of me, be holy, because I'm holy. Go ahead.
Come and have severed you from other people.
Severed meaning to cut. So the Most High cut us off from these people. Now why would the Most High cut us off from these people, from these nations? One, they're heathen. They're heathens. That's one, they're Gentiles. So what are they? What's the main characteristics about them? There's that, but they don't have the Most High. They're not godly.
Who said they're dirty?
Lamont.
Well, what do you mean by that? Because they are, but what do you mean?
I know in history we taught them how to bathe. They're dirty physically and dirty spiritually because they want to be homosexuals now. So
okay. Yeah, you gotta make sure you're clear when you say that because you don't want to sound like every other camp that just run around, you dirty Hamite, you dirty, like everyone's just dirty just because. So we want to be clear when we say that. I was just checking. Go ahead.
So so the Most High severed us from these people that's already ungodly themselves. And one thing about these nations, these Gentiles, and with us being captives to these Gentiles, see, they got us thinking the way they think. So they think that gain is godliness. They think that the more money I got, the more I'm being blessed. That's why they sacrifice to their idols. That's why you see them with the elephants, and the elephant trunk is pointing at the door. Why? Because it's supposed to be good luck and bring fortune and money to their house, to their households. That's why you see them doing all kinds of crazy things, man. Burning certain incense, making certain moves. Why? Because they think that money, they think that the carnality, that's what's godly. That's what's good. But we're gonna see what's actually godly and what's actually gain in the eyes of the Father. Because it's nothing all of a sudden for the Most High to make a poor man rich. It ain't nothing for the Most High to bless us with money, for the Most High to bless us with the houses and the cars and all that. Well, what's the point of the Most High blessing us with all that right now when we won't even know what to do with it? It's like Look at what the white man do with all these rappers, with all these black celebrities. They bless them with money, and what are they? They just become a rich junkie. They become a rich harlot. Look at Cardi B. She ain't nothing but a rich ghetto harlot. Look at all these rappers. They're nothing but rich ghetto drunkards and junkies. What's up?
And that's another thing. Like our, as far as our people, for like the younger youth and people of our generation, like that's who everybody be looking up to.
Yeah. They know exactly, but they know why they do it. Remember, they're taking crafty counsel against our people.
Yeah.
So they know exactly what they're doing. It's just that our people are blinded. They don't understand. Because it's none of these people, none of these celebrities that they put up, it's not like they're talented. They're not talented for any reason. When you look at the people that the Edomites or the Asians or the Arabs have to look up to, these are people these are business owners that got dough. These are politicians. These are doctors, lawyers. These are people that worked for what they got, or they inherited. I can't say the word. Inherited it through their families or whatever the case may be. But when you look at our people got to look up to rappers, to movie stars, they just talking about how Jay-Z became the first billionaire in hip hop. But look how many billionaires they got just from businesses. So our people looking at Jay-Z and like, yeah, I gotta be a rapper or I gotta play sports to make it. But they're looking at their billionaires like, yeah, they're business owners. Our people ain't thinking about being business owners. They ain't thinking about putting their money together, being unified. They want to smoke, get high, and get paid for it, and go into the booth and rap and get paid for that. That's what our people's looking at. That's what our people think gain is. That's why they call themselves gods now. That's what makes them a god in their eyes. But see, we're gonna go into it, man. This is a really dope class. We're gonna touch on it. So read 1 Timothy 6:6 again. Another brother, give me Psalms chapter 37, verse 16. First we gotta see godliness with contentment is gain. What does that truly mean? What does that truly mean? And we're gonna touch on content and what it is to be content. Doesn't mean that it's like if I'm sick, do I just be content with being sick? No, I'm gonna get better. I can't just be content with being sick. It don't mean that if I'm living in an apartment, I can't have no ambition to try and go get a house. It's not what it means. See, there's things that you should, there's times to be abased and time to be abound. There are certain situations where the Most High will have you in a position where it's like, let me be content with where I'm at in this position and let the Most High do what he's doing so that I can move forward. Let me not force the course of the river. Let me roll with what the Most High is doing because there's a bigger picture. It's like Joseph in Egypt. It's like Joseph in Egypt. When he went there, he was like, all right, let me be content with that the Most High, let me be content that the Most High has me here for a reason. But he wasn't just content with just being a slave or being locked in prison. Because even in that, when you read that story, when the brother came and Joseph interpreted his dream, he told him, listen, don't forget about me. When you tell the Pharaoh what his dream means, come back. When you tell the Pharaoh what the dream means, tell the Pharaoh that I told you about it so you can get me out of jail. So it don't mean that you be content. It don't mean that you just be content. You gotta examine and see, why does the Most High have me in this position? And is it a time to be content? Is it a time to abase, or is it a time to abound? What is the Most High doing? What is the Most High trying to show me? Well, go ahead and read that. 1 Timothy 6:6 again.
But godliness with contentment is great gain.
So we're gonna see what is gain to a godly person. Go to Psalms chapter 37, verse 16.
Psalm 37, verse 16.
Go ahead.
A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked.
Read that again, brother.
Verse 16, Psalm 37. A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked.
A little that a righteous man hath. Because what's the little that a righteous man hath? From the outside, you'll look and you'll be like, oh yeah, he got to work a 9 to 5. He got to work his tail off. He don't get to see his kids. He's struggling to make it. He's sitting there reading the scriptures all day. But he's righteous. The little that he has, he's righteous in it. But the
thing is, you can't see righteousness by the way a person.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I say it the right way and understand what I'm saying. You can't see a righteous man just through his attire. Meaning, oh, he's righteous because he got the new J's on. Oh, she's righteous because she got a Benz. That's what the world looks at as being righteous.
Got it.
Oh, he's righteous because he got something that's new. Or he got the new this, or the 2019 this. He must be doing something good in God's eyes.
For the most high,
that's righteous, but faith, humility, long suffering. You can't see a person's long suffering just by looking at them first glance. You can't see a man's faith by looking at him first glance. So these things, the world, they're not judging you off of those things. It says a little bit. Read it one more time.
A little that a righteous man hath is better than the riches of many wicked.
Yeah, so the little faith that a righteous man has, a little bit of long suffering and patience, the little bit of having his senses exercised is better than any wickedness that you can see, because you can't see these things just off the bat. They have to be displayed. You got to talk to a man and say, oh, damn, he's patient. You talk to him. Oh, you talk to him. Oh, man, this guy has been long suffering. Oh, man, this guy is humble. When you talk to him.
And you know, that's the thing. Like, when you look at a righteous man from the outside, you see the little carnal things that he has, but his spirit is huge. He doesn't lack in. He might lack the carnal things, but he's not lacking in spirit. Whereas the wicked lacks in spirit, but the carnal things they abound in. But you'll never, like you were saying, you'll never be able to know.
And that's the point. That's the whole point. Yeah. Where, yes, a righteous man. We're not saying that you gotta be broke as hell to be showing yourself righteous and just look like a bum, look like a vagabond. No. What we're saying is, a righteous man is not chasing those things. So if he don't get the new J's on release day, that day, guess what? He's not gonna be killing himself to go get the J's. Or if he don't get the newest iPhone, he ain't gonna show up to wherever because his iPhone don't match up with everybody else. Like, he's not moving according to his flesh. He's moving according to the spirit. So you might look at a cat and say, "Damn, you still got that iPhone 6?" Damn, this iPhone 6.
Or like Noah be doing, what are those?
What are those? Right? This iPhone 6. But that's my point. So you got an iPhone 8? Man, you ain't nothing. Like,
you know, the 10's out.
Yeah, you know they about to drop the 11 or whatever they about to drop, the Fold. Who knows? But a righteous man ain't really on that like that to the point where it's like, I gotta have it. He might know about it. He knows the 10 is out, but he don't care. He's content with what works, which is this one. It works. It completes the job. But see, having to keep up with it's that keeping up with the Joneses syndrome, man.
Got it.
You go broke off of that. You lose your wits going and chasing these riches.
You know, most importantly, read Matthew chapter 19, verse 21. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 21.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 21.
So you get into that mindset, this is what happens to you. Go to Matthew chapter 19, verse 21. Go ahead.
Yahweh said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast.
So, quick synopsis. This is the story about the rich man that came to Christ. And he was like, I followed the commandments from my youth up. So Christ is like, okay, all right, cool. Read it from the top.
Yahweh said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect.
You want to be perfect. Go ahead.
Go and sell that thou hast.
Read.
And give to the poor.
And sacrifice. So, sacrifice for your brother. Lose for your brother's sake. Read.
And thou shalt have treasure in heaven.
Because when you lose for your brother's sake, you're building treasures in heaven. It's like right now, like if you sacrificing for your brother, you're building a treasure that nobody can ever take from you. You're building a bond between a brother, or you're building a bond between a sister. You're unifying with that brother or sister. Think about these people that got money, man. They don't have nobody. The only person they have is their accountants. And that's if the accountant ain't robbing them of their money. Read?
And come and follow me.
But see, Christ said, lose all that, sacrifice for your brother and come and follow me. Why? Because that's what Christ did for us. He was rich, but for his sakes, he became poor. For who? For our sakes. Christ endured the cross, not for him, but for us. So when you come and you follow Christ, that's what you're doing. That's your mindset. That's what this rich man couldn't take. Yeah, I followed the laws from my youth up. I go to church every Sunday. I read the Bible every day. But can I actually apply it? Because that's what the Bible's about. You know, you gotta think about Solomon. When King David passed, you had Solomon and you had his other brother. His other brother tried to go and usurp the throne. I forgot his brother's name.
Solomon's brother?
Yeah. That brother, it wasn't Absalom.
Huh?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. But yeah, so this brother, Solomon's brother, it was his older brother too.
Yeah, it was.
He went and he tried to go and take the kingdom because David was about to pass. He was on his deathbed. So he's trying to go and become the king. When David already said Solomon is going to be the king. But he wanted to be the king. Why?
His older brother.
Nah, it wasn't even that. He wanted to be the king so he could have money.
The riches.
So he could have the riches. He could have the glory. He could have the honor, everything that came with being the king. What's up? Adonijah. But why did the Most High give the kingdom and the rulership to Solomon? Because remember, when Solomon became king, what was the first thing that Solomon asked for?
Wisdom.
The wisdom and the knowledge to guide his people. The wisdom and the knowledge to guide his people. But what did his brother want? Because his brother knew that the kingdom and the rulership was supposed to go to Solomon. But he went and got anointed. He didn't even go to Samuel. He went to somebody, some other prophet to get anointed. And went and had a feast. And was showing everybody showing all Israel that he was the king. But why? Because he didn't want to rule in righteousness. He wasn't trying to be there for the people. He didn't care about us. He's like Trump. He just wanted that title of being the ruler, the king, the president. That's all he wanted. But when Solomon became king, Solomon was like, nah, I want the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to correctly judge your people. And that's what this brother, read verse 21 from the top.
Come. Verse 21. Yahweh said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me.
Read on verse 12.
Verse 12.
Verse 22.
22.
Verse 22. Wow.
But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful.
Why did he go away sorrowful?
He didn't want to give up his treasures.
Why didn't he want to give up his treasures?
Yeah.
What did he not want?
He didn't want to be poor.
He went back to the rest of the world.
He didn't want to be uncomfortable.
Con.
Anybody? He said it. He said I did. He said I kept the law. Right? He said I kept the law from my youth up. Right? Read verse 20.
Con. Verse 20. The young man said unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up.
Right? He said I kept the law from my youth up. But he was doing it at his speed the way he wanted. He didn't want to not have to be content. See, because there has to be a contentment. It says godliness with contentment is great gain. You know what part of that contentment is? It's being able to be uncomfortable and still not be uncomfortable. It's being able to be put in uncomfortable situations. Like, well, now we got to pile 3 different families into one house because we're moving, things like that. Those type of situations that would make people uncomfortable and not want to do it and not perform. He didn't want to be put in an uncomfortable situation. So he was like, I ain't doing that. I don't want to be uncomfortable. Godliness with contentment. To be content is I could be brought into an uncomfortable situation to everybody else and still assimilate and operate the way I need to, and still be comfortable, knowing that it's not an uncomfortable situation. It's the Most High moving me up and down. The Most High is bringing me up and down to see where's my spirit at.
That's cold.
You see, that's very important. That's why he walked away like that. Yeah, he didn't want to be broke. Nobody want to have all that money and be broke, have all them possessions and be broke, but he just didn't want to be uncomfortable. Could he have not gotten it back if he sold it all? Of course he could have. He could have redeemed everything that he sold. He just didn't want to be uncomfortable and put in a position to have to worry. Think about when you're comfortable, you don't gotta, supposedly you don't have to worry about things. But then if you're not worrying, if you're not thinking, that means you're not using wisdom in every instance. You're not exercising all the wisdom that's there, the 360. You're living comfortable. What you gotta think about? Think about it. When you're comfortable, that's why it says in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of sorrow.
Yeah. Affliction.
Of affliction, excuse me. And in the day of affliction, there's a forgetfulness of prosperity. Because when you're chilling and kicking it, you're not worrying about the bad times. So your mind is not constantly staying sharp. But he was worried like, damn, now I gotta go think about that. Now I gotta be uncomfortable. Nah, bro. I don't want to be uncomfortable. His mind was at ease. His mind was too much at ease. He was too content with his riches. He was too content with being comfortable. See, there's different things you want to be content in. We can't be, as Israelites, be content in being comfortable. Because this ain't our rest. At any moment, hey, we got to go over here to this next state. And guess what? 8 brothers in piled in one house trying to get things done. Right? Brothers is doing it now. You know, things ain't work out the way we wanted. Brothers picked up, went to Virginia. Everybody's in one house for right now. In a what you would call an uncomfortable situation, but we know how to deal with those situations. We know how to respect each other in those situations. We know how to operate and get the job done in those situations only through wisdom. Only because the wisdom shows us how to do it.
You know, it's like the scripture says in I think it's 2 Corinthians, man. It says, for my perfection is made
perfect through my sufferings.
Like somebody will go through like weakness.
Through my weakness.
So it's like when you think about weakness, it's a state of being uncomfortable as well. But that's where the Most High doesn't stay. That's where He perfects you. That's where something inside of you is being perfected.
Yeah, He rounds you, He tempers you and makes you a more well-rounded person. But that's why a lot of people ain't well-rounded. They only want to rely on one side, which is the prosperous side. Or the side where I'm where I'm weak, I made strong. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Where I got so much, I don't gotta worry about not having it because I got it. So guess what? I'm just gonna think about having it.
It's like with his brother in Matthews. He ain't even looking at, okay, yeah, you lose all your riches because that's what has a hold on you, and it has a hold on you to the point where it's like you're asking me to be perfect. You know I'm the master. You know I'm the anointed savior. And you're asking me to be perfect, to have a perfect entrance into your kingdom. And I tell you, that's too much. Why? That's your weakness. But see, in your weakness, you're made strong. That was what would have made him perfect. But he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Go back to read verse 22.
Verse 22.
Go ahead.
But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful.
He went away what?
Sorrowful.
Read.
For he had great possessions.
Those great possessions, man, that's what he considered to be gain. To the point where to be perfect, to have a place in heaven, think about it. Think about it. Christ said, lose all you have and come and follow me. He pretty much had a chance at being one of Christ's disciples. He had the same opportunity that the disciples had. He couldn't do what the disciples did. The disciples weren't even like super rich like this man was. The disciples were working. They were fishermen. They were tax collectors. They had jobs. They had families. Christ came to him, said, follow me. I was like, you know what? Whatever you have, is worth more to me than everything else that I already have. They went and lost it, but what, this brother couldn't do it. It's a perfect example of a brother that couldn't do it. Why? Because of his carnal possessions. Because he looked at his carnal things as that being
He was
gain.
content. He was content with those things.
God. Jump to verse 24.
Come. Verse 24.
Go ahead.
And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle.
So when it says it's easier for a camel to go to an eye of a needle, it's not talking about like the actual needle that you use to stitch garments. This is talking about back in the day. You had a gate. You had a gate back in the day where for the camel to go through the gate, he would have all this stuff on him. The camel had to go super low and go through the little hole in the gate. They call that the eye. Read.
Come. Then for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God.
So it's easier for that camel that's carrying a whole bunch of stuff. Remember, a camel is tall. So it was real hard to get that camel to go through into that little narrow passage under the gate, which is what they call the key. For the camel to go all the way down and scoot into it. It was super hard. It was possible, but it was just extremely hard to get that camel to do it. But he's saying it's easier for a camel to go through that than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Why? Because the rich man has everything he wants. He has everything he needs. He's focused on his riches. Remember, the scripture tells you that the riches drive away sleep. That you can't go to sleep because you don't want to lose it. You too busy thinking about keeping up with the Joneses, so you know that if I'm asleep, they're probably up making money. That's why Kevin Gates got a song, I got 2-3 jobs, I don't get tired. Why? Because he's chasing riches. So when you're like that, you have this mindset, you ain't thinking about the Most High. You're not humble. You're not thinking about the poor. You're not thinking about the spirit.
Plus, if it's about riches, then where's the, you just said it. If it's about the spirit riches, then where's the spirit come in?
All right.
Where does the faith, the love, the charity, if you're rich and everybody else around you is broke, poor, then where was your charity at?
Yeah.
Where was your, what was I reading last night? I was reading the book of Baruch. Been in that book heavy lately. And it was saying something in there about helping the poor, helping the widow. Say, like it says in Jeremiah. But that's the things that you were supposed to be looking forward to do. Helping the widow, helping the poor, helping little children, helping the sick. But if you just hoarding riches, if it was all about your money, if it was all about your gold, if it was all about your camel, then where did you ever have time to give thought to anyone outside? That's what the scripture you quoted about the thought of riches drive away sleep. It ain't that you worried about somebody else making money. You worried about somebody coming to steal yours. Yeah, you worried that you sitting up like, remember Scrooge McDuck? Remember Scrooge McDuck? He had that vault full of money. He was just stingy as hell, and he just worried about people coming and robbing him. He was angry, upset, and bitter. Yeah. His little nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, they wasn't really messing with him because he was just stingy. Yeah, because that's what it turns you into. An uncharitable, stingy human being. You turn into a Scrooge, man, because you're worried about who's coming to use and abuse me, who's coming to ask me something. You see these people that get a little bit of money. Man, why are all these broke people always asking me for stuff? Because they're broke? Because you got it? You see these rappers and sports stars and celebrities that tell you they ain't talked to their family in years because all they do is ask them for stuff? Yeah, well, you got it, but you were supposed to distribute. But you so worried about keeping it, you lose sleep. You so worried about making it, you lose sleep. That now you're content with just money and not doing the spiritual things like loosing your money for your friend, helping out your family.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Go to Psalm chapter 22, verse 26. Psalm chapter 22, verse 26. And just off of what you said, it's like, when you're godly and you have the mindset of the Most High, you understand that when the Most High blesses you with something, especially when you're in the truth, when you're in the camp, the Most High blesses you with something Not just for you, but for your brothers, for your sisters, for your nation. That's why the Most High will give you the carnal things. Like if you're gonna pray for a car, it's like you can't pray for a bike. You can't give your brothers and sisters a ride on a bike. You can't pray for a Bugatti. You can't even drive a Bugatti down the street.
I'm in Houston.
You can't do that. You can't pay for a lot of these fancy cars because they don't got airbags. It's illegal to drive a car without an airbag. So a lot of these fancy cars that you see these celebrities, you go and you spend $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, millions of dollars on a car that you can't even drive down the street. You like Floyd Mayweather. You just got it held up in your garage. You just got them in your garage for no reason. You can't even drive them. You can't do nothing with them. But see, when the Most High blesses us with things, it's not just for us, it's for our nation. Go ahead. Psalm chapter 22, verse 26.
But before you go there, can I just throw one in there just on that point? Go to James. Go to James real quick. Go to James chapter.
What happened?
I don't know, do you? Nah, you don't. I don't think so. Go to James chapter 4 and verse 3.
James chapter 4 verse 3. Ye ask and receive not.
Right, go to verse 2.
Come. Ye lust and have not.
Right, see, and that's the problem where you'll lust for things, you be lusting for every little thing, but you ain't got nothing. You lust because you don't have anything, and you have nothing because you lust. It's like that bad cycle. It's a catch-22. Go ahead.
Ye kill and desire to have.
Yeah, and you'll kill off of your desires, man. Ain't that our people?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
And cannot obtain.
And you can't really obtain what it is you kill him for. Because then once you get that, once you shot him in the face 1,000 times for his chain, and you put it on your neck, then what? I need another chain, and another chain, and another gold ring, and I need to fulfill this lust, and fulfill this lust, and that lust. So you get, but you can't even obtain what it is. You can't. You know, it's like the crackheads, man. They or the dope heads. They say they was chasing the dragon,
or the bunny,
chasing the bunny, whatever it was. You can never obtain that dragon because the thrill, the high. You'll no matter what you do, you'll never get to that first point. Go ahead.
Ye fight in war.
You do what?
Ye fight in war.
And this is what happens, when you rely on just the carnal things of this life. You'll fight and war over those things, but how come you don't go to war with the demons in you? How come you're scared to go to war with the demons in your head? You won't go to war with Satan, but you'll go to war with your brother for his chucks, or for his Nikes, or for his watch, or for this, or for that. You'll go to war with him for his woman. You'll go to war with him for his title, for a status. But you won't go to war with what's holding you down for real, which is your pride, your hate, your envy, your jealousy. You won't go to war with those things. Go ahead.
Yet ye have not because ye ask not.
You have not because what?
Ye ask not.
Read on.
Ye ask and receive not.
Where you at?
Verse 3 now.
Go ahead.
Ye ask and receive not.
And this is why when we do ask for things, we don't get it. Go ahead.
Because ye ask
amiss, because you ask amiss. Because you're asking because you want to fulfill some lust in you, some carnality in you, some street dream. You ask because, I need a Bugatti because Rick Ross told me I needed it. Like, he did? Yeah, he's right. You can't drive a Bugatti down any street in Houston without ripping out that suspension. By the time you pull that off the lot, and you're gonna have to take it right back in for a whole new axle. You know, and you see these idiots trying to do it, trying to fall. I've never seen nobody ride through with a Bugatti yet. But, you know, you got people that they have that thought. I need this house, I need this type of car, I need these many women, I need this amount of money in my bank account. That's what's gonna make me, and then I'll be happy. No, you won't. No, you won't, because the flesh is never satisfied with carnal. The flesh is always like, more, give me more. Oh, well, I got 10 grand. Like, it's like Jay-Z. He hit a Billy, right? A Billy. But think about it. You think he gonna stop because he hit $1 billion?
Nah, he want 2 now.
That nigga's gonna kill himself to get $2 billion.
Yep.
He's gonna spend half of the bill and then make the next $2 billion. He's gonna kill himself to double that. And then when he hits that, he gonna say, "Oh, I need $3 billion." He ain't gonna stop because he hit $1 billion. Like, he didn't just shut down all his companies. Like, okay, Tidal offline, whatever drink he got, we gonna pour out all the bottles. Rock Nation shut down. Nah, he ain't content. He ain't content with what he has. The whole goal when it comes to the carnal is to get more. The flesh is like, feed me.
Yeah.
Feed me. But see, the Most High, he be cutting us off, man. You ask, but you ask amiss. You ask, but you receive not, because the Most High is like, your flesh don't need that. You need to learn how to be content with the fleshly things. That's what we have to be content in. But we have an opposite, where brothers want to be content with just being where they are spiritually, but that's the same place you were 3 years ago. You were in the same spiritual, you're the same spiritual age you were 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, where you're supposed to be fighting in the spirit to grow daily. Every day you're supposed to be fighting to mature in the spirit daily. And the carnal stuff, man, listen. Listen, I went to my garage yesterday. Y'all know I got the old Lexus up in there. And I started it up. Right? I was like, damn, I've had this car almost 12 years. 20-something-year-old car, man. Still runs.
You don't want to get rid of it.
Bro, I call the junkyard. I was like, man, I gotta get rid of this. Like, I'm not saying the car was holding me back from growing or anything like that. Hell no, it's a car. But it's like when, you got people that will attach themselves to something like a car, and it's like they can't get past it. You look at the car wrong, they want to kill you. You got that old, y'all know those old men, they have the junk car, they got some old possession, and their wife is like, man, I've been telling them to get rid of that for 30 years, and he's like, no, I can't get rid of this. I can't do it. I gotta hold on to this. I gotta fix it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But what about all the demons you hold on to that you need to fix in those? It's like you let the demons just ride and won't do anything to say, let me clear those things out, but let me hold on to a car. I was only holding on to the car because I was lazy. I didn't feel like getting the tow. But I'm like, man, I need room in my garage. I'm tired of looking at it. It's just here. Yeah, I'm like, bro, somebody come get this. I don't care how much you pay me. Because I'm not content in the carnal. We got to be content, I'm not content in the spirit. I'm content with the carnal.
Right.
I could easily go kill myself, get some money, and get that car on the road. For what though? Where there's more spiritual pressing things that need to be endeavored into.
Right. And that's what, godliness with contentment is gain. What does that mean, right? That's what it means. It's like, see, the godly is never content when it comes to the spirit. Because you know that when it comes to the Most High, you can never go far enough. You know that your righteousness is as filthy rags. So when it comes to the spirit, when it comes to doing what the Most High will is, ain't no contentment in that. But when it comes to the carnality, again, not saying you can't have an ambition and not strive to get more, to do better, but there's the balance where you understand, okay, yeah, let me be content with where I'm at. I have a TV, I don't need another TV. I don't even have a room for it. Like, not because they have it for sale, like I don't need to just go get it. My phone calls and texts, I can make classes on it, I can look on Bible apps, it's good. I can afford it. Let me not try and go get this iPhone 11 that's gonna come out, that's gonna mess up. And I gotta go stand at Apple just to try to get it fixed. I don't need all that. Read Psalms chapter 22, verse 26.
Go
ahead.
Psalms chapter 22, verse 26.
Read.
The meek shall eat and be satisfied.
See, the meek is going to always eat and be satisfied. But why? Read.
They shall praise the Lord that seek him.
Because the meek is going to eat and be satisfied because the Lord, we're going to be praising the Lord because the Lord is the one that's bringing us our food. Even if it seems like we got to go hungry, if we don't got nothing to eat, then we understand that the Lord's will is for us to fast. If it was to come to that point. Because why? Because we know that the scripture says, I've been young and old, and I've never seen the righteous begging for bread. So, nor forsaken. So we understand that it's the Most High's will wherever it state I'm at. And when you read back in the scriptures, you'll read Samuel's, you'll read Kings. And you'll see during the time of Ahab, I forgot the prophet, but the Most High was hiding the prophet. And the Most High, the prophet was hungry. The Most High had, I forgot what kind of birds he had, but he had birds bring the prophet food. The prophet was hiding in the caves. So we understand that the Most High is going to always feed us. So read it from the top.
God, the meek shall eat and be satisfied.
Yeah, we don't got to eat what the world considers to be the luxury food. No, ain't no shrimp, ain't no steak, ain't no caviar. We don't need to eat all that. It's like every rapper now, I'm eating shrimp, steak, and caviar. Like, you even know what you're eating?
So you really eating trash and bragging about it?
Eating trash and bragging about it. Because they put the name caviar like it's a special name, a delicacy. Eating clams, like, I ain't finna eat no clam.
Fish.
Oyster. It don't make no sense.
But that's the thing is if you're not eating those things, then you're not living. That's the problem. But that's how it's presented to our people. If you don't have certain things, then you're not living. If you're not eating, if you ain't eating at the turkey leg hut and eating this and eating that, then you're not really eating. Which that's not true. If you're not driving this certain type of vehicle, then you're not driving. If you ain't walking around in $1,000 Louis, then you ain't really walking. Right? Like, nigga, you mean to tell me I'm not walking because I got on Nikes? Or I'm barefoot? Like, but so it pushes in our mind not to be content with what, living within your means even. Yeah. What's the problem with our people? They live above their means. You paycheck to paycheck, but you live in 2 paychecks in advance.
You know what's crazy too? Our people is the biggest consumers. So we always say that our people don't got no money, right? Which to an extent it's true, but our people's the biggest consumers. The Black, Latinos, Native Americans, the whole 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, in America, we are the biggest consumers. So we got money, we just don't know how to use it. We don't know how to spend it. We don't know how to save it. We don't know, when it comes to money, we're not financially educated. We mess our credits up. We mess our kids' credits up because our credit's messed up. But why? Because we're chasing things that we don't need to chase. We don't instill, like, in our kids, especially in America, we don't instill in them. We push them out at 18, like, get out. Just leave, bye. That's what we do to our kids as soon as they turn 18, but we don't instill in them, listen, yeah, you're 18, but you still need development, you still need to learn maturity. Stay, save your dough, especially when you get you a good job, you graduate college, stay, save your dough. And instead of getting an apartment where you just throwing away money, go ahead and get you a house where now you're paying off a mortgage. But our people, they don't do that. As soon as you turn 18, bye, you gone. You gone. But when you see Esau and you see these other nations, that's what they do with their kids. When you see Esau and you see these other nations, they'll get a credit card in their kid's name, but they'll only spend it on gas or their lunch, where they pay the bill. The credit card never goes super in debt, but they pay the bill. So now when the kid graduates, the kid has a 700 credit score. Well, what we doing? We using the credit to get a car that's way above our means that we can't pay for. And then they tow it, and now the credit's messed up. Our credit's messed up, so we got to use our kids' credit, and we mess their credit up. But that's what we do. So it's not like, yeah, we don't got no dough, but it's not like we don't have dough, because we're the biggest consumers. We just don't know how to use it. We don't know how to spend our money. We don't know what is gained onto us. We let them bamboozle us into us thinking that When we get dope, we gotta spend $200 on some shoes that cost $10, $15 to make. Just because it got the Jordan or the Nike sign. When they're not wearing that. And any of us got a little bit more though, we spend money on $500 Giuseppe's, $1,000 Giuseppe's, red bottom shoes. But you don't see them wearing that. But we do that.
I thought Giuseppe was Pinocchio's dad.
Oh,
I didn't know what the hell a Giuseppe was.
You know that cat that work in the mall, man. You work at Shoe Palace.
Yeah.
You know, always be on some shoes. Yeah, this dude. $700 on some shoes, but you work at Shoe Palace, bruh. You don't make $10 an hour. What are you doing? That's the mindset of our people, though. Go to Psalm chapter 37, verse 11. Jermaine, you had something?
Yeah, I saw the statistic a while back. It was saying just African Americans alone have like $1 trillion
Spending power, yeah.
Spending power.
Yeah, we're a $1 trillion corporation. Yearly. That's yearly. Yeah. We could have our own economy. Just black people. I don't even think that's Hispanic. I think just black folks alone is $1 trillion. Yeah, man. We pump a lot of money into this economy.
Go ahead. What's up?
Hey, I meant to say is, I stayed over there on Kirkwood, and used to be a Ramblers right there, and the Ramblers just got closed down.
I know you're talking about.
And they built a Mexican store right there.
Kirkwood and West Belford.
Yeah.
Kirkwood, West Belford, yeah.
And man, I don't know, the parking lot stayed packed. Like, it was never like that in Ramblers.
Yeah.
Like, it stayed packed.
What kind of store was it? What kind of store did they put?
I don't
It's
know.
like a
Grocery?
Yeah, grocery store.
Oh yeah. Gotta eat, man.
God, man.
Yeah. Mexicans got it. They like our people, they like to eat. We all like to eat Mexican food, so.
I just want to add, because I was just today, I went to the beauty supply store. It was a black beauty supply store. And it's like, we was just sitting there having a conversation, what he just said kind of reminded me of that. We don't spend our money with our people a lot of times. You know what I mean? But like he's just made the example, Mexicans, man, they'll spend with their people, but it's like, for whatever reason, we'd rather go spend our money with others instead of our own.
Yeah, instead of, because, and if we do, what is it? Y'all too expensive, let me get a discount. Let me get the hookup. What y'all got over here for free? What y'all got on sale? What y'all got on clearance? What y'all got for no tax? Like, that's always Judah, man. It's sad. But yeah, Issachar will go in and spend money on their foods. Benjamin will go in and spend money on his food. The Africans will go spend money on their food. The white man definitely will spend money on his stuff. But blacks, that you'd rather run over there to the white man, shuck and jive for him a little bit. He does you wrong, and then you want to complain. Where your brother had the same product, but better. And he was going to give it to you for cheaper anyway. But our people are just so conditioned. Listen, if y'all don't understand, they even had commercials back in the 50s, back in the 60s, how to sell things to black people. How to sell things to what type of nigga was coming in, what type of Negro was coming into the establishment, how to deal with them. So they got it set up in a way they know how to, all that marketing and advertisement, that's for you. That's for you to say, oh, wow, I need them J's.
Yeah, man.
Or I need that car, right? When they got the Cadillac slipping through the lanes, through some mountainous area, and you sitting there like, I need a Cadillac now.
When you never drive to them.
Yeah, I need a Cadillac. He ain't got a license. When you automatically get a Cadillac and then you run down to your local buy here, pay here dealer, let me get that new Cadillac STS. They're like, nigga, we ain't got that. So buy here, pay here. We got like an El Dorado. We can get you in with that airbag suspension. We got that.
Yep.
We ain't got that 2019 STS. You're like, damn, I need that. But what you gonna do? You run around to every dealership till you find what you want. Yep. You ain't got the credit, you gonna run everybody's credit. You got everybody as a co-signer. How your kids co-signing for you? They ain't even 18 yet. They your co-signer? But it just shows you that we won't be content with what we have. And you got a car that runs. You got a note that's 500 already. All you're gonna do is put that extra note on top of the other note. Now you got 1,000 for a car note. You still gotta pay for insurance. But guess what? You only making like $1,500 a check.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
We won't be content in those things, but we'll be content spiritually. It's like, well, I go to church every Sunday. And that's good enough, right? But I listened to Pastor. He had told me 2 weeks ago, right? Or I watched the prayer channel, right? Whatever it is, like I got the Joel Osteen DVDs. I listen to TD Jakes online.
I'm my way into the kingdom.
Yeah, I'm a pawn in the Cadillac when it's time to get into the kingdom.
Dang.
No. Yahushua don't want the Eldorado.
Nope.
Go ahead.
Psalms, somebody give me Psalms chapter 37, verse 11. Another brother give me John chapter 4 and verse 14. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 37, verse 11.
Read.
But the meek shall inherit the earth.
The meek shall inherit the earth, man. So that's what we looking for. That's what the brother back in Matthew's, he didn't want. He didn't want to inherit the kingdom to come. He just wanted to inherit what he had now. His possessions, that moth and rust was gonna corrupt. Read.
Come, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace.
That's what we fighting for. We fighting to inherit the earth. Why? Because the kingdom look not here, look not there, but the kingdom of heaven is within you. And we gonna what?
Delight themselves in the abundance of peace.
Why? Because the Most High is not the author of confusion. So we understand that what we gaining is not carnal. We trying to gain the spiritual, where we can be at spiritual peace.
God.
Where we can take our bodies, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Where we take our spirit, where we take our mind, and we're at peace with that. John chapter 4 and verse 14. Let's go into what are you gaining.
St. John chapter 4 verse
Let's go into what the godly is really gaining.
Verse 14.
Go ahead.
But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst.
See, what we're gaining is the water that's never going to cause us to thirst again. But not only that, read.
Come. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water, springing up into everlasting life.
So not only do we get the water that we're never able to thirst from again, our spirit's never thirsty. Our spirit's always filled. We like that tree that's planted by the rivers of water, where the roots just going straight to the water, soaking up all the nutrients it needs. And then that tree now bears fruit. It tells you that the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. We bear fruit for others, not just ourselves. But when you look at the wicked and what the wicked gain, their riches, they gain that for themselves. I want to see what Jay-Z's going to do with this $1 billion that he has. He ain't going to do nothing. He ain't going to do nothing for you.
He's going to do the same thing he did with the $999 million.
Oh,
he's going to do the same thing he did with the $500 million.
Yep.
Nothing.
He's going to get on it. He's going to go right into the booth. He's going to listen to the song, listen to the instrumental one time.
Rap about it.
And then he's going to rap about how he doesn't have to write anything down. And he's going to rap about how I have money and you don't. How I have a loudmouth Beyonce and you don't. And she has money though. So together, we're like $1 billion. We're like $2 billion together. That's what he's gonna rap about. But us, the things that we gain, the things that we fight for, our gain, it's beneficial for everybody else. We don't even gotta say nothing. Somebody could just look at us and be benefited just from looking at us. These women out there in the world, with how they dressing nowadays, when they look at our women, and they see how our women carry themselves, that's beneficial just for them. Because they'll look and they'll be like, man, you're different. It's something about you. Why do you carry yourself like that when every other chick is getting their nipples pierced and not wearing bras and walking around like that? So when these kids see y'all, when these little kids look at us, you don't even gotta say nothing. They can just look at us and see that the spirit is different compared to everybody else. So what we have to, what we gain, we don't just gain it for ourselves, especially when it comes to the spirit. They can look and see how we deal with our families, how we deal with our friends. Listen, man. Listen, my cousin, who just turned 19, she threatened to hit her mom. What kind of garbageness is that? How you gonna threaten to hit your own mom? But guess what? When they look at, like the scripture says, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. These kids is becoming monsters. So when they look at our kids now, that's in the truth, they gonna look at our kids and be like, man, you don't bully nobody, you're not disrespectful, you're filled with manners, you're filled with the Spirit. They look at us, they see it. So this water that the Most High gave us, this water that we thirsted for, that we finally got, not only did we take the water and drink it, but we used it and we washed, cleansed, and we took care of our spirit, man. Well, at least that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we're supposed to be fighting for and constantly trying to gain. You can never have enough of this water. You can never be content with this water that we're getting. Go to John chapter 6 and verse 68. I'm gonna just read this Proverbs real quick. It's Proverbs 3 verse 13 through 16. It says, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her.
Why? Because through her you can get anything.
Anything.
Solomon proved that.
Right.
Solomon proved that through wisdom you can get anything you want. It don't work the other way around. Wisdom is the spring to get whatever you want. Or you can get whatever you want and not know how to deal with what you get, not know how to maintain what you get, not know how to reproduce what you got.
Right.
The wisdom gives you all that. How to maintain it, how to reproduce it, how to keep it, how to get it again. That's what wisdom does. That's why it tells you, happy is the man that findeth wisdom and the man that getteth understanding.
Right.
Go ahead.
You at peace. In verse 16, let the days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. That's what we fight for. That's what is gained unto the godly. That's what's gained unto the godly. Not like Pablo Escobar, where you bury millions of dollars in a hole in the ground. That's what's gained unto you, but you gotta run for your life. You gotta run for your life. You can't even enjoy that money that you didn't bury. It don't make no sense. Read John chapter 6 and verse 68.
Con. St. John chapter 6 verse 68.
And then somebody can give me Proverbs chapter 22 verse 4. Go ahead.
Then Simon Peter answered him, Yahushua, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life.
So you got to think about it. To give you the synopsis of the story, this is after Christ had fed the thousands with the fish, the whole multitude with the fishes and the bread. And they left. So when they left, Christ was like, so are y'all going to leave too? He was speaking to his disciples. But Peter's like, read.
Con. Verse 69.
Verse 68. On top.
Then Simon Peter answered him, the Most High, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life.
Who we gonna go to? You have everything. You got everything that we need. You got the words of eternal life. And I take you back to the brother in Matthew's. His possessions had way too much of a hold on him.
Yeah, he put his possessions more worthy than the words that Christ had for him. Because he should have been in the same mind. Well, let me sell everything and get the words of life.
Eternal life.
Let me sell everything and get the wisdom on how to not have to be so dependent on it, on the carnal things that I have.
Got it.
Let me get the wisdom on how to give things up willingly for a good cause. That's what should have been in his mind. He should have been like the apostles. They were like, where are we gonna go? You got the words to eternal life. Now, oh yeah, well, nigga, you about to be out. Well, we about to go back, get us a Bentley. gonna form a boy band and make some money, buy us a few Bentleys, get us a couple of hoes. They wasn't on that. They were on the spiritual.
All right. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 4. Another brother give me Matthew chapter 13 verse 44.
Proverbs 22, verse 4.
Go ahead.
By humility and the fear of the Most High are riches.
But what do you consider to be rich? What do you consider to be riches? Read it from the top.
By humility and the fear of the Most High are riches.
Are riches, right? What do you consider to be rich? Is it the money, cars, clothes? Is it the $20 an hour job? Or is it the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the fact that you can control your spirit, the fact that you strive and you fight every day to be right in the Most High's eyes? Is riches to you the fact that you can have children, or that you have children, or that you have great children, not just children of the world, but you have a great strong man or a great strong woman, great strong young man or a great strong young woman that you can build, that you can nurture? What is riches to you? Is riches the fact that you could wake up to see another day? That you could fight for the Most High, you could be an example unto your nation? It's not just the carnal. Riches is in so many different aspects, man. You got the health aspect, you got the family aspect, the husband and wife relationship. It's not just the carnal like how they try to make it seem. Read.
And honor and life.
Yeah, and honor and life. But you gain all those by having humility and the fear of the Lord. That's that godliness. Go to Matthew chapter 13, verse 44.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 44.
Go ahead.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hidden in a field.
So, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hidden to a field, right? You gotta think about it, man. This Bible is everywhere. The whole world has it. Everybody reads it. Everybody. But it says it's like unto a treasure hidden in a field, even though everybody has it. Read.
Come. The which, when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath.
So you finally find the truth of the Bible, the mystery of the Bible that everybody else has. First of all, it says you're supposed to be joy. You're supposed to have joy in it. It's supposed to be joyful. And joy is for you to go and say, man, I'm giving up everything for this. All the carnal possessions, that don't mean nothing to me. I got the spirit now. Read.
Come on. And by that field.
Yeah, man, nothing can compare it to the scriptures. Nothing can compare it to the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. Because that same wisdom and knowledge, you can't buy happiness. You can't buy peace in a relationship. But you gain the wisdom and knowledge of the scriptures and of the Most High. And now, you didn't gain peace in your relationship. Your eyes are now open. Now you know how and what to look for in a man and how and what to look for in a woman. This woman or this man might not be the man that I'm physically attracted to. He might not have the six-pack and the pecs and the super big thighs and the calf muscles and all that. But I can live in peace with him. I can live in peace with him. Why? Because he knows how to control himself and he knows how to take care of me. Not carnally, but mentally. When I come home from work, from a long day and everybody else is stressing me out, he knows how to one, calm me down and show me the wisdom in the situation and show me what the Most High is doing. You know, this woman, she might not have the big butt and the six-pack abs and the hair to her toes and all that, but guess what? She's humble. She's meek. She gonna be there for me through everything. Not when I lose the money, she's gonna leave. She's there. She's a sacrifice. The way she is how she's gonna raise my daughters. So when I look at her, I can say, man, my daughters is gonna be raised. They're gonna grow up just like you, if not better. Matter of fact, they should grow up better. Why? Because like you said earlier, the proving a friend, it never stops. So you're constantly being improved. You're constantly being worked on. So the woman that you were when this child was born is not the woman that you should be when this child finally turns 16 or 18 or 24 or 25. It should be way better. But see, when we find that, nothing else is supposed to be able to compare to that. Nothing at all. That's why it says for joy, we sell everything we have, man. Nothing compares to this. Nothing compares to us gaining the wisdom and knowledge of the Creator that created the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth. That's given us literally the instructions of life, the manual of life. Nothing else compares to it. Read.
God. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls.
Think about it. The merchant man is seeking goodly pearls. We were looking for something and we ain't know what we was looking for. And we found it. Read.
Who when he had found one pearl of great price.
Yeah, the pearl, these scriptures, the wisdom that we didn't gain, the knowledge that is accessible onto us, can't nothing, it's like the commercial says. Car, $5. Cheesecake, $20. Philly cheesesteak, $15. But the Bible, priceless. Priceless. And guess what? Your car is gonna cost $20,000. Your house is gonna cost $100,000 to $200,000. Your rent might be $1,000, but guess what? A silent and loving woman, priceless. And the scripture teaches that. The scripture teaches that. The $100 an hour job, the salary job, the nice car that you get to drive, all got a price to it. But peace and sanity in your relationship, in your household, for your kids, for the brothers and sisters around you, for the people that come across you, priceless. Priceless. And that's what the scriptures give us. That's what this pearl that we got at a great price gives to us, man. That's what's priceless. That's what the gain is. That's why it tells you, you can't buy wisdom and you can't buy the wisdom with silver and gold. You can't. There's only one way. There's only one thing you need to buy, and that's humility. That's humility. Go ahead, finish it up.
Who when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and brought it.
Yeah, we bought it. So my question is this, just a quick question. If we're supposed to sell everything that we have, well, of course not literally, but if everything that we have is supposed to be worthless compared to this wisdom, why do we always put it on the back burner? Why is it like when we get counsel, when we get advice, we don't take it, we don't use it, we try to go against it? Why is it that instead of listening, especially if you're young coming into the truth, you're just learning, why instead of gathering instruction, wisdom, and knowledge from your youth up, like the scripture says, and taking every opportunity and every moment to gain it, that we don't? I'm listening to that same Jay-Z album where he's talking about making $1 billion instead of listening to the Bible app. Instead of me putting together classes, I'm playing video games, or I'm watching Netflix series, or I'm messing with people that I know I'm not supposed to be messing with because they're just doing damage. Why am I not following the instructions of my parents? It's so many things that we just put the Most High and the wisdom and knowledge. That's the keys to eternal life. That's the keys to heaven on earth. We put it on the back burner. Let's jump to Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 24. Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 24.
Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 24.
And real quick, just on the content aspect, right? One thing we gotta remember, we can't be content with just being mediocre, man. especially when it comes to the Most High. So why would we put these things on the back burner? Why would we put being righteous and striving and fighting for righteousness on the back burner? Like, that's second. Most High, you're second. You come second. I'm content with where I'm at.
And can I say something? It ain't like you're literally saying, hey, Lord, I'm putting you second. But this is how you do it. You had a long day. It's still early. You know you need to study. But you're like, I'm going to relax in a different way.
Yeah.
Let me give myself to the TV. Let me give myself to some garbage conversation over the phone. Let me throw on my headphones and watch something else on YouTube. You're not literally saying the words, but your actions are saying, well, I'm going to put my spiritual growth on the back burner. I'm going to put my spirit behind and put everything else in front of my spirit. That's what he means by back burner. Because I hope nobody's literally saying like, Yahweh, I'm putting you second. But we do it when we have the time to constantly attain spiritual and do, study and counsel. But when you do something else, when you get into the flesh, that's when you're basically saying, well, I'm gonna put my growth second. My growth comes secondary. So you gotta see that. Because that's all it's affecting. It don't affect my growth. Him growth is him growth. Who said it best? Jay-Z. What you eat don't make me poop. Because it don't. So you don't want to study, that's on you. That's your spiritual growth. But then you look around and you see, well, why are brothers around me growing? Why? There's two things. Why are brothers around me growing? And why are brothers around me stale? Why are brothers around me falling backwards? Well, because every man is going to reap the benefit of what he puts in. So if I put my spirit on the front burner, on the front line, and do all the things that I need to do to fortify my spirit, you'll see the growth in that man. He'll abound more and more and more. But when he puts the video games, the drinking, the women, the chasing women, all the outside activities that don't have to happen, all the things you did in your life that you ain't got to do now, you could have spent all that 8 hours, 10 hours, 9 hours. How many of y'all literally ever sat up and studied for, who's ever studied for 4 hours straight? 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. See, that's what I'm saying. If you ain't, and it's a build-up, but if you can't get in that book for 12 hours, if you've never done it, try it. Just clear your schedule. Right?
It's no fun.
Clear your schedule. I've done it by accident. I'm like, okay, let me get up in here real quick and the next thing I know, I'm here, then I'm like, oh yeah, snap, boom. Boom. Like when I study, it looks just like this.
Just open.
I be having like 2 apocryphers because I don't want to flip pages. I got 2 Bibles, three Bibles. I have a Zondervan somewhere, and I have whatever other book. And I'm like, oh yeah, boom. Next thing you know, 3 hours went by. I'm like, oh, let me get something to drink. 5 hours went by. I'm like, damn, legs are starting to cramp. And I'm in there, boom. Next thing you know, a whole 12 hours I went by, and I'm like, wow, brain is just buzzing. Man. But I could have been doing other things. I could have been bending the block. I could have been smashing up and down downtown. I could have been doing all that. But that wasn't important. I did all that already. I hit the block. I bent corners. Right? What's the other words, the terminologies they use? I did all that.
Be in these streets.
I've been in them streets.
Step on the bus stop.
I ain't do that. I did that. But the point is, all the things that we try to do, this is not the time to be doing that. You've already did it. Now is the time to be fortifying your spirit at every little chance you get. And that's what it's about, because a little chance will turn into 12 hours. And you ain't gonna lose nothing. Nobody's gonna chastise you for studying for 12 hours. What you do on your day off? I studied for 12 hours. Drop and give me 50 push-ups. Like that was off. Nobody doing that. You don't be like, damn, okay. What you study? Let me get a piece of that.
Iron sharpen iron.
Ain't nobody gonna chastise you because you said you studied, but then it's like, well, what you do on your day off? Well, I did laundry and drooled on myself all day. Okay, well now I see why you dealing with what you're dealing with. All you did was laundry and drool?
You see the fruit.
Yeah, because nothing is growing. But nobody's gonna get mad because a brother took 12 hours out of his day. I'm saying you have to. I'm just saying. Nobody's gonna get mad if you took 4 hours, 2 hours, an hour every day. Nobody's gonna get mad at that. Brothers should be taking an hour, sisters too. At least an hour a day to get in the book and just read. Throw a few scriptures together for your spirit.
It's for you, Con.
For your spirit, for your growth. It don't, I mean, at the end of the day, it don't affect me if you don't grow. It only affects you and your family, but it does affect us as a whole. Because what's the point of us coming into the knowledge, chasing riches, and then falling off? What's the point? There is none.
We're getting money, but we got a hole. We got a hole in our pocket, like the scripture says.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to keep it. Just on the point that you're making, man. I came across the scripture yesterday. It's a dope scripture. It's Job chapter 35, and we're gonna read 5 through 8. And then another brother gave me Philippians 3 and 7. Job chapter 35, verse 5. Just on the point that we're reading.
Job 35, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Look unto the heavens and see, and behold the clouds which are higher than thou.
Yeah, man. Look. Really go outside and look at the heavens. Look at the clouds, look at the stars, the moon, the suns, look at all that. And behold the majesty of Yahweh. Read.
If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him?
If you want to sin, if you want to transgress his laws, what are you doing against, what are you doing to the Most High? You're only harming yourself. You don't want to study, you don't want to take it, you want to be mediocre. You want to be rebellious. You want to have pride. You want to not have faith. You want to not follow the method. You want to be disrespectful. You don't want to be kind. You don't want to be charitable. What are you doing against the Most High? Read.
Come. Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him?
Yeah, if you was to walk away and say, man, these 7 spirits can take hold of me, I don't care. I don't care if these 7 spirits take hold of me. If I get worse, you know what, I'm gonna keep drinking. I don't care. You let your transgressions just double. You know what, I stopped smoking weed while I was in the truth, but guess what, I don't believe in the truth no more. I'm back smoking weed. I'm back selling dope. I'm back doing all kinds of, I'm back prostituting. I'm back stripping. I'm back doing all these.
I'm back wasting my time. That's all it is, man. I'm wasting my time with idleness. I'm back being idle.
God.
Brothers be idle. Even in your free time, y'all supposed to be cracking that book open. Cracking that book open and figuring out, how do I get past what I'm dealing with?
How do I get better?
How do I get better day to day? How do I become a better man? Let me read a little bit. There's no time where we shouldn't be in the book.
Yeah, man.
It's getting that detrimental out here, man. It's getting that detrimental where there's no time where we shouldn't be in the book. For real, for real. Where you at?
But yeah, man, the scripture says, what doest thou unto him? You ain't harming the Most High, you harming yourself. Verse 7.
Come, if thou be righteous, what givest thou him?
You're righteous, what are you giving unto the Most High? Nothing. The Most High can raise up stones. The Most High raise up a stone to do his will. Look, he got a book. He left us a book. He ain't even give us a prophet. He ain't even give us teachers back in the days like we used to have. We got books, and now we got brothers that teach out of the books. We got teachers, but that major prophet, like Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Christ, Moses. Most High gave us a book. So when you're doing righteousness, like that's for you. That's for you and your brothers and sisters around you. But the same thing, when you do wickedness, when you're not giving an effort, that's for you and that's for the brothers and sisters around you. Because the scriptures tell you, man, The whole world waited on the manifestation on the sons of God, so it's on you. You're just holding yourself back. You're holding the kingdom back. It's contingent on us. Go Philippians 3, verse 7.
Philippians chapter 3, verse 7.
Go ahead.
But what things are gain to me, those I count loss for Yahushua.
Yeah, whatever we gain, it ain't nothing compared to Yahushua, man. It's nothing, because guess what? Yes, you have a TV. Yes, you can watch Oprah Winfrey as much as you want. As much, Wendy Williams, Dr. Phil. You can watch them as much as you want.
Oh, you late. You old school. It's red table now. Dr. Phil and Oprah.
Now you got red table. You got what's her name?
Jada Pinkett.
Jada
Red table,
Pinkett.
man. And Will Smith and them.
Aisha Curry, Steph Curry's wife, telling you that she's sad because even though she's married to a millionaire, one of the best basketball players in the world, she's telling you she's sad because she doesn't get any attention from any other man.
Where's the contentment in that? Where's the godliness in that? It shows you that godliness with contentment is great gain.
God.
She can't even be content with having something that a lot of women, that they say 70% of black women don't even have, which is a husband. They say 70% of black women ain't married, and they won't get married because they're too stuck on independent woman mode.
Yeah.
They have like forums and dialogue like, is it over for the black woman? Should they just give up on marriage? I was like, damn, they doing y'all dirty. But she's got that. Plus he's a millionaire. Plus he got fame and fortune.
And you know what the most important thing is? Not saying that Steph Curry is righteous, but
he be in his little Bible.
Yeah.
He be in his little Bible a little bit. He's a Christian.
Whenever anything good happens, Nate, first of all, before we start, I want to thank the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
So for the world, she hit the triple piece lotto. Money, Christian, and he's light skinned. So I mean, damn, she got the quad piece. When all black women treat, now I'm playing. I'm joking. But she got all that and can't even be content with what the Most High has given her. You got to see it, because it's not about, you know why she can't be content? Because there's no spirit there. There's no wisdom and knowledge there. Watch, read on.
Come, ye doubtless,
right?
And I count all.
He said, yea, doubtless. Go ahead.
And I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahushua.
Yeah, because that's what it's about. It's the knowledge, man. It's about the knowledge, not about, well, he's a millionaire. They don't look at the knowledge. They look at the fact, well, he's a millionaire, he's a this, he's a that, but he's not pleasing me in bed. That was her argument, right? I haven't been pleased by Steph in 10 years. Oh, she blazed him. Oh yeah, she said that. She hasn't been sexually satisfied with him since like their first kid. They got like a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, something. I was like, damn. But what is she sticking around for? Because he got dough. Her pockets are satisfied. And then when his dough started getting low, what would she do? Oh, come on. She gonna move on to the next player. She gonna find the next. She gonna go to Klay Thompson. The lighter light-skinned dude. Yeah, because he's lighter and he got more.
He may even be a better shooter.
And he might even sign a high contract. Who knows? But that's the mentality though. Why you think women, they'll be with a billionaire or millionaire, and then he'll go broke and then she leaves? Because it wasn't about being with this man because of who he was. It was about being with this man because of what he got. But we can't be in that mind of, well, I'm only going to be around because of what I'm getting. I'm only going to be around because of what I got. Or I can't be around because of what I don't have or what I don't bring. Read on.
For whom I have suffered the loss of all things.
He did what?
Suffered the loss of all things.
Because that knowledge was more excellent. That knowledge was more precious. Those were the keys of life. Paul understood it. The apostles understood it. It's up to us. It's up for us to understand it also. That, remember, we're not saying, if anybody was misunderstood, we're not saying that it's wrong to have anything. We're not saying that it's wrong to want to have things. Right? We're not saying that. We're not saying it's wrong to pray for things carnally. But what is the intention when you get it? When you get it, what's your intention? To consume it on your own lust? And that's the thing. You know, brothers be wanting ribs. Fine, have you a rib, but you gonna put her to work the way you getting put to work? Or she gonna be on vacation in the truth? She ain't gonna learn how to sacrifice. She ain't gonna learn how to dedicate. She ain't gonna learn how to put her brick in. She just gonna ride your coattails. The Most High is gonna get her out of here. Gone. Oh, you want the brand new 2019 Maybach? Okay, well, make sure you give somebody a ride that needs it. Or else, guess what? That payment ain't gonna be made. Somehow, some way, that payment won't get made. No matter how much you work, it won't be made, man. The Most High will find a way for you not to have that because you didn't want to use it for the right purposes. That's what it's about. Whatever we get. Jermaine. My bad.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you just call me Major.
God. I was about to too. Like, what's up, man?
But that just reminded me of Ecclesiastes 11:25.
Read it.
That says, in the day of prosperity.
Read verse 24.
Read verse 24.
Ecclesiastes 11:24. Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things.
And we were just here, right?
We were
going there. Yeah, read that. Read it again. No, you got it. You're right on point.
Yeah. And what evil?
Go ahead.
And what evil can come to me hereafter?
Read it from the top, bro.
God. Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things.
And you got to see like what it's talking about, because it's not talking about the carnality. Because when you're in a carnal mindset, the 2015 to 2019 is never enough. That's never enough. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, the ear is not satisfied with hearing. So don't get it misconstrued. It's not talking about the possessions. It's talking about your spirit. It's talking about your spirit. You're like, oh yeah, I have enough. I found the truth. I don't got to do that. I can sit in my closet during the Sabbath. I can just read.
Christ is black, I'm free.
Christ is black, I'm good. I don't got to teach nobody. We ain't gonna cook on the Sabbath. We ain't gonna do nothing. So say not that I have enough. Read.
And possess many things.
Yeah, I possess many books. I'm good. I'm good. My family's good. I can control my spirit somewhat. I can break scriptures down somewhat. I can teach, read.
And what evil can come to me hereafter?
Why? Because I got the word. You're content. You're good. You ain't trying to grow. You're comfortable. You're okay. You can come to class, sit down, get a good sermon, just like the brothers and sisters that go to church. But I don't gotta put a brick in. I don't gotta do nothing. I don't gotta read. I don't gotta ever have an ambition to want to grow and show the Most High that I'm doing this for you. Like your knowledge ain't going to waste. Nah. Read. Verse 25.
Verse 25. In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction.
Yeah, because just because you're prospering now, when you feel like you're prospering, you forget. You forget all about the affliction. You forget about the things that the Most High can do to you. You totally forget. Your mind ain't on Him no more. You start losing faith. You start losing the mercy. That's why the scripture tell you, man, Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. We did that back then, and that's how we got into slavery. That's how we got these curses laid on us. But even now, in the truth, we still do it. We still wax fat and kicked. We still be waxing fat. We ain't never trying to grow. Let me put together a class. Let me put together a better class. Let me try to think outside the box. Let me try to grow, man. Let me try to touch people. Nah, we just want to wax fat and kick. So when we're prospering, we don't think about the times, the hard work that it took to get to where we're at, or the lack of work that it took to get to where we're at. Because for a lot of us, man, it doesn't take too much for us to grow a little bit. The Most High requires just a little bit, man, just a little bit. Taste the Most High and see that He's good, and we'll take the next step. But a lot of us, we don't even want to give Him that little bit. Not even that crumb. Read.
And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
Yeah, when we start to catch it, we forgot when we were prospering how we were prospering, so we forgot all about the Most High. And that's how we ended up back in the state of affliction. We forget these things. We got 5 minutes left. Go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. And then we're going to go to Luke chapter 12, verse 28. We're going to go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15, because the godly... Can I do part 2 of this? So we're going to just hit the godly side to this, and we'll do the part 2 to the wicked side next time. How what the wicked consider gain is. But see, the godly is always examining what the Most High wants, especially when it comes to being content. The godly is always examining the situation and the time and the place. The godly is examining everything. Why does the Most High have me here? Why does He have me dealing and talking to this person? Why, Yahweh? Constantly meditating on the precepts. Go ahead. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15.
God, see then that ye walk circumspectly.
See, the godly is saying that they walk circumspectly. Why? Because we understand that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our times. Not money. Not because you got $2 million or $1 billion like Jay-Z. I don't know what Jay-Z gonna do when the stock market crashes. Because China is raising the tariffs on U.S. goods, and Trump is doing the same, and he did it to Mexico. So if y'all check the news today, it said that a recession is likely. So a recession is likely. So when the U.S. dollar, when the petrodollar finally pops, and bread is, and your paper money ain't worth nothing anymore, it's about your gold. What is Jay-Z gonna do? What is Floyd Mayweather gonna do? Let's see, the godly, we walk circumspectly. We understand that money is not, that's not the stability. Yes, it is a defense, but it's not the stability. Money's a defense, but our ultimate defense is the Most High. Read.
Not as fools, but as wise.
See, we walking wise. We walking with wisdom. Read.
Redeeming the time.
Yeah, we looking at everything, man. Everything. We watching how these days are just flying by. Man, it's already been a month and a half since we had Passover. Come on, man, we're in June. It's the 6th month. It just turned 2019. It's flying. Time is flying, but it tells you though. It tells you that for the elect, time is going to cut short for the elect. So the righteous, the godly, we redeeming the time. We watching. Read.
Because the days are evil.
Yeah, we see the days are evil. So we redeeming the time. We see the days are evil. So we on top of our children. We on top of our families, the ones that want to hear and be humble. But most of all, we on top of ourselves and our spirit. That way we can be on top of everybody else. Read.
Wherefore be ye not unwise.
Yeah. Read.
But understanding what the will of the Lord is.
So we understanding what the will of the Lord is. So what's that mean? We redeeming the time. We watching everything. So we gonna understand why, because we meditating on the Most High. So if the Most High got me in this position, then is it time to abase or is it time to abound? Is it time to be content with the carnal aspect, with the affairs of this life? Is it time to be content with what's going on with the affairs of this life? Because we understand that it's never time to be content with the spirit. But there's times when, yeah, I need to be abounding with the affairs of this life. Yes, sometimes it's time to get a new car. Sometimes it's time to get a new house. To chase a rib. If you have a woman after your eye, go after her. Sometimes, yes, it's time for that. But sometimes it's not time for that. So we redeem.
Especially when you at war, you ain't got time to count the bullets zigging by. You just know you gotta duck. And you got to make sure that you're doing all you can to protect yourself. So you don't have to, you're not sitting, oh, that's 1 bullet, 2 bullet, 3 bomb. 4. You're not doing that. You're like, wait a minute, I gotta make sure my gun is loaded. Gotta make sure I got my little knife, right? Got my sidearm. You gotta make sure that all your armor is on. You're not worried about you just know, keep your head low, let everything fly by. But you're not sitting there counting everything and keeping tabs on all the things that's happening around you. When you busy, you ain't got time to either think, am I abasing or abounding? When you, man, some of y'all haven't lived until you live literally not even thinking about your condition. You ain't even thinking about like, am I abasing or you don't know where you at. You just know you serving the Lord. You don't know if you're abasing, if you're abounding, if you're fasting, if you're not. You don't even know what's going on with you. You just know you in the spirit, man. And somehow the Most High is just pushing you along through His Spirit and through the Word, and you just steadfast and consistent and diligent. And it's when you look up, you're like, oh damn, I missed out on that. I missed out on that. That was that party. This person hit me up to kick it. That's when you look up, though. When you keep your head down, you ain't got time to look around and see what everybody else is trying to bring you into or what they're doing. I don't even, yeah. Y'all gotta see it.
That's what.
Yeah, we get one more than that's, yeah.
It's gonna be 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. You could drop the Luke. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25. We're gonna read it to verse 27.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 25.
Go ahead.
And every man that striveth for the masteries is temperate in all things.
Yeah, we gotta be temperate in everything. In everything. Understanding the balance, understanding what the will of the Most High is, examining the situation, just being temperate. Whatever we go through, taking it patiently, being content with where the Most High has me, but examining to see what the Most High wants me to do. Where you can grow. Because the Most High, if you're in an abased state, the Most High has you abased so that you can grow. Bring low to bring high.
Yeah, but what brings you high? No. What brings you high? When you're brought down low, what brings you high?
Spirit, wisdom.
What does the scripture say?
Most High.
You said what? Huh? Yeah, being godly, but it tells you something. It says wisdom lifted the head of him that is at low degree and causeth him to sit amongst princes. So it's wisdom. So if you getting ran through the mud, best believe the only thing that's gonna get you out of it, believe it or not, is the wisdom. Believe it or not, is the wisdom.
But that's why the Most High put you there, so you can exercise it. So that
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
That's what you're put there for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you didn't use wisdom, so He dropped you down. The only thing that's going to get you up is the wisdom. You want that scripture?
God.
It's Ecclesiastes. I got you. Go ahead, read on.
Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown.
Man, he's a billionaire now. Who cares, man? Who cares, bro? Beyonce, we still got that picture of you diving in the pool. Speaking of Jay-Z. Speaking of Jay-Z.
Don't hate on my guy. Y'all can't be hating on my guy up in here.
But it's like, look at you've done more harm than good, man. Like, you're not, like yes, you're a billionaire, but you won't go down in history like as a Martin Luther King, as a Malcolm X, as a Marcus Garvey, as a Huey Freeman. You're just gonna go down in history as a weird dude that dives in the pool weird, that has $1 billion. That's it. That's how you going down.
I forgot about the pool thing, dude.
Even the jet ski.
Oh my God, bro.
Read, bro.
God. But we an incorruptible crown.
Yeah, man, this is incorruptible, man. It can never be corrupted. Never be corrupted. When you learn when you master patience, that can never be corrupted. When you master faith, long suffering, charity, love, when you master the fruits of the Spirit, that can never be taken from you, man. That's incorruptible. And then you can pass that down to your kids, pass that down to the people that you're teaching, the people that look up to you. Nobody can take that from you, man. It's incorruptible. That's what we fight for.
And truthfully, there is no mastering the fruits of the Spirit. That's why you can never be content in the Spirit. There's always going to be something to try your spirit to see and show you what you don't have or what you do lack.
Yes, sir.
The scripture I quoted was Ecclesiastes 11:1. Was that it?
Verse 26 and 27. Go ahead.
I therefore so run, not as uncertain, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air.
Yeah, we're not fighting like Floyd Mayweather. We're fighting like Mike Tyson. We fighting strong, man. We throwing haymakers. We fighting like
You're knocking demons out in one round, son.
we fighting like Deontay Wilder.
We fighting like Issachar that beat up Joshua. We fighting like Issachar that beat up Joshua yesterday. Was it Joshua?
Yeah, Ruiz beat up Joshua.
Yeah, we fighting like Issachar that beat up Joshua over the weekend.
He dropped him 4 times, man.
We fighting like that. That's how we should be fighting. Oh yeah, he whooped on him. He whooped on Joshua.
God.
That's how we supposed to fight.
Yes, sir.
Not like Mayweather just running away. You gotta fight. Go ahead.
Verse 27.
Come, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
Why? Because you got the scripture in Ecclesiastes that tells you that you have one that teaches many, but is unprofitable unto himself. So, we keep our bodies under subjection. We keep everything strong so that when we preach, there's no fault in us. We're blameless. We're blameless in everything. In everything, man. So, yeah, with that, man, we're going to do a part 2. I didn't expect it to go like this, but it went good. The part 2 will be on how the wicked go about gain and what gain does to the wicked and why their mind thinks like that. We're gonna go into all that. That part 2 is gonna be nice.
Any questions from the class? All right, we'll end it there. We thank everybody online for joining us. Once again for your patience and for your for all the love y'all show online. We appreciate it. Anybody that needs to get their school vow in, get that in. What else? Remember, we got the feast on Friday. So if you're in Houston and you want to come through, you're more than welcome. We're going to be here at the school. If you want to donate anything for the schools here, Houston, Virginia, here or San Antonio, or Virginia or Albuquerque, you can mail them to the schools. Virginia doesn't have an address yet. We have the building, we just didn't put everything out yet until we get in there. But if there's anything you want to send to Virginia, just hold off a couple more days. We're gonna open up on the 15th. We'll get the address out, and you can, whatever books, pens, papers you want to send. They need a computer out there to be able to broadcast. So
I was gonna say definitely gonna need apocryphers.
yeah, they're gonna need Bibles and apocryphers and things like that. So again, we appreciate everybody that's been giving to help out. So it's going a long way. We appreciate it. If that's it, we'll say shalom. We'll salute everybody online. We'll see you back here Wednesday.
Dave Rogers put the Feast of First Fruits and he put a question mark after it. I don't know if you.
Yeah, it's the Feast of First Fruits on Friday. Yes, sir. So what I'll do in class Wednesday, I'll just go over it briefly. I think we've been talking about it the last couple of Sabbaths, but I'll go over the first fruits on Wednesday, and then we'll do it like that. That way everybody can be up to date. That way, if we're not going to read it during the feast, we'll just do it during class that Wednesday. Okay. Is that it?
All right.
All right. Let's give them a good little shalom online, man. We'll see y'all on Wednesday.
Shalom!
Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ. In Hebrew, it's Yahweh Shai. So do what